Alright. Hello, all of our friends and fans and whatnot. Welcome to our first ever Zombie Cast.
Zombie Cast, I like that.
Zombcast.
I like that.
Yeah.
Dill's not even paying attention. He's playing with the fan right now.
Dill
Look at
loves
his
it
fan
right
here.
there.
Oh my god, this guy blades and they
So,
spin.
yeah, this is our idea to talk about E3 because it just happened and we're all excited to talk about it and we
And
really
this-
wanted to
still-
share it with you all.
Still fresh in our memory.
Fresh out the box.
Yeah.
So let's start with our first topic of discussion, Microsoft's press conference, since it went first.
You see, I actually missed that one. I'm just going by what I hear, really. And what I hear is Connect.
And
That's
a
what
problem.
I hear.
Yeah.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with the Connect, but when you go to E3, people want to see game, not hardware like that. They want to see games, not connect.
We
Now,
won't talk this much during our actual episode.
I put this on the Twitter, but when...
A lot.
Well, I have people I talk
us-
to on Twitter.
Us three do not have Twitter.
I
Twitter.
Whatever.
I put the same thing on
I'm
Facebook,
joking,
doesn't
that's what my
matter.
dad
That's
said.
the
Anyway, I asked, what is Microsoft's audience? Because Kinect indicates that it's the casual market. The games they showed indicate that it's the hardcore gamers. But it could also be their investors that they're talking to. Or
Makes
They're-
no sense.
or other businesses. We don't really know who they're talking to with all the shit they showed that night.
And
So the question is, who is their actual target audience?
It looks like now it's
I
casual.
mean, combine that with the smart glass thing they showed.
What the hell is
Was that
Smart
Halo?
Glass? Like, what the fuck was that?
Like, I can take my Android phone, my iPhone, my tablet, and make it a second little screen I can use for my Xbox games.
So when you're watching something,
Or during a TV
so when
show.
you're watching something, they'll just give you bonus information about what
Yeah.
where it was filmed, what was created, like who's in
The
it.
characters, the cast.
I don't get why you would need that.
Why
Why
would
do
you
you
want to take
need
pictures?
that?
Again, that's why I'm asking, who exactly is Microsoft's target
The
audience?
target
I-
audience is people who don't even play video games.
It's just more about.
It's more of like a hobby. Like, not really a hobby, but like
Right.
something to do when they have some free time.
Yeah.
free
This
time.
is the point where I realized personally that we, the hardcore gamers, are now getting snubbed.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Basically,
From every genre, really.
this E3
Yeah,
is the one.
every
is the one
genre has given us the fucking boot.
Because
this
now they're pushing up
E3
value and everything.
Now they're
It's
just-
like, we want to let them play
Oh my
that.
god.
During this E3, I realized for the first time
Gems.
that we are getting snubbed, and we're just angry about it.
I think they all got hurt there.
Well, I mean, we have reasons.
Yeah, they all got the hurt
We got the
burps.
bad kids that hurt us. But we got good reason to be mad. I mean,
Uh,
there's not one thing anymore, especially on Microsoft, that's not
They've got a Halo 4
Pretty
coming
much with the
out.
dumbass thing, like,
Oh, don't forget Usher.
they put Internet Explorer on
Connect,
Microsoft
connect.
Xbox now. Like, who the fuck wants Internet Explorer on the Xbox? Who cares?
Wait.
I know, right?
Doesn't Microsoft own the internet?
Yes!
What took them so long to
Why
get that
was
shit on
it
there?
take
I
that
don't
long?
know.
I mean, PlayStation came.
7
With
years.
a browser.
It came with
Takes
the
7
internet
years.
browser that I've
On
been
their own
using to look up
created thing.
porn since I got it.
7 years it
It
took.
took 7 years.
7 years. And how long?
There's another thing.
PlayStation had
You
day one.
mentioned Halo 4,
I did.
but that is a question. Besides that, in Gears of War, all the games Microsoft showed were from third-party developers. They were not exclusive to Microsoft.
They weren't like crazily developed.
I know. Gears of War
It's like-
is a prequel.
The only
Pretty
reason
cool.
they were at that show
Halo
is because
4.
Microsoft was revealing that their DLC would be time exclusive for them.
That's bull.
I don't understand anymore, man.
There was Skyrim.
And not just Skyrim, the Tomb Raider DLC is also time exclusive.
What Tomb Raider DLC?
And I think Resident Evil says something about DLC.
Oh,
I don't know if this is true. I have double checked, but I heard Resident Evil I think also had some time DLC in there as well.
Resident Evil 6?
Yeah.
It's not even out yet.
Now there's Tomb Raider, and they're announcing time DLC for that.
You can't announce DLC for the games actually out. That's bullshit.
Well,
That's-
no,
unless it's like pre-order DLC.
I am perfectly in agreement with you. No, it's time DLC for Microsoft exclusively.
Are you
I'm
serious?
DLC.
I'm not
What is she
kidding.
wearing, like an Xbox shirt?
I don't know.
She got
That's probably
got
like
Master
Avatar.
Chief's mask on? or
No,
something?
it's DLC is going to be available on both consoles. Microsoft gets it first dibs.
She better not be naked.
So-
'Cause if I'm not the first one to
She's
play
not
it,
gonna be naked. Come on, we're talking about Microsoft here. They don't afraid to get their hands dirty.
That's
It's
true.
not that bad. Especially like the
But
they
yeah,
almost scared.
DLC that pissed me off. That really like the fact time DLC really pisses me off.
Nah. And then the Skyrim just makes no sense because they're first releasing it for Xbox, but not PC, and it's only going to come out mid-summer. Okay, so that means the PS3 ain't going to get it till
Fall.
late
Right, like
holidays.
I'm just gonna hold up for the collector's edition because I do that every time.
And that's probably going to come out then. It's going to come out right when the collector's edition comes out. It's like, really?
Sounds about right to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they usually always do that, but the year after it's released.
So yeah, overall, what did you think of Microsoft's press conference?
I gave it
I
4
give it-
Dylan.
Like I
Logic
said,
stars.
I didn't.
But Dylan Watch is good.
I didn't actually see it, but I went on meme base. When your thing becomes a meme in one day for how bad it was, that's a definite thumbs down. In fact, I wish I had 4 hands.
I'll give
Give that shit a 4
I'll give those
Why not
4
5?
X's down.
because I can't. Where am I going to fit a 5th hand?
This is weird.
4.
Okay, what I got? What do we talk? Shut up.
Yeah, I find it terrible. It's
Yeah.
just motion when the system is
And
a
the
hardcore
Kinect
game.
isn't even that good.
Let's talk about motion control. Let's talk about the Kinect.
Alright.
Because one thing I noticed that Kinect isn't even actually trying with its motion controls anymore.
What's it doing
It's
now?
basically
Isn't the voice?
all the better with Kinect bullshit is with the voice commands.
Yeah, like you can talk to people now.
And that doesn't make sense to me because anyone that now has an Xbox, I don't have an Xbox, but I know this. We all know that those come with their own headsets.
Yeah, I had an Xbox for about 2 years before I just was like, this piece of shit is a piece of shit.
It was.
So I put
But-
it up and got a. Well, I didn't get a PlayStation.
But
My
it came
family
with
got
a
a
headset.
PlayStation, and it came with a headset that I only used to play like Saints Row.
But that means they already had the technology for voice recognition out of the box.
It's
You
so-
don't need Kinect for that.
That's,
Which is why he's confusing that the only thing they're using Kinect for seems to be the voice commands nowadays.
Yeah, at first it just looked like
It's
motion
like, so you're
control.
going back to technology you already had.
Yeah, sounds about right to me.
yeah.
Voice
I
command.
don't like it. I don't like
Even
that
when it wasn't
kind of
ATOL, I hated it. I hated the whole idea of the Kinect.
Of Kinect.
Kinect.
Not a lot of people. They
That's
actually
because we all got sick of the Wii by that point.
they announced one game for the Kinect that caught my eye at first.
Wasn't it the
It
fight
was like the
room?
kung fu thing where you're like
Oh,
you're
That
in like the
wasn't Kinect,
comic
was it? I
book.
thought that was a PlayStation
Yeah, that was
Eye thing.
that wasn't the movie. That was a
Maybe
movie.
it was, either way, we're all motion controlled. So
That's true.
Yeah.
and it was cool. We could do your moves, and it looked. This is what they showed. Like you do your hand motions and your body motion. And you did like a
I
superpower.
remember. It was like Kung Fu.
But it got like terrible ass reviews, and turns out it wasn't responsive at all. And
that is-
it was just retarded.
That is the biggest problem with motion controls. I've said it over and over again. It's like when someone tells you to do a right jab, you know what a right jab feels like, or you generally have an idea what you should do for a right jab. But the game's version of a right jab will not mesh with yours. It just won't. Which means that you're going to do something slightly off, which breaks your immersion in the game, and it'll make you actually feel worse playing it than you would with the controller.
There's no reason why I should do a right uppercut and have a left kick come out.
I know, right?
Had a red jab.
A right jab, headbutt, boom.
Yeah, motion
I think-
controls, that's the way it works. Like, it's just not responsive. It's not intuitive, it's not immersive, it's not fun.
But you know what else I noticed about like the Kinect, like other than the Wii? Like right when people started getting tired of the Wii, they released all that.
Yeah.
Like PlayStation.
Yeah,
Move.
it's-
Like,
Yeah,
right
that-
when Wii's long ended, like
And-
right when this lifespan was ending.
And I think we all kind of knew they were going to fail the moment we saw them. That
Yeah.
they were not going to do well.
No, it was just a mimic. It was just kind
Yeah,
of
well,
mimic.
just-
I think you mean gimmick.
It was a mimic.
Both.
That's
Both.
both.
Both. Mimic
Yeah.
and gimmick at the same
But
time.
yeah, those actually would both be very
Oh, yeah.
fitting things to call
Yeah, I
them.
guess
But they
so.
tried to copy. That's. Well, I mean, more of the move because it was like a Wii controller.
I mean, at least
But
I,
still,
I
I
will
mean,
give
none of
least-
these guys
I will
would've
give
did without the
Microsoft
Wii.
credit. They at least try something slightly different.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
the PlayStation shut it down.
Right away.
when they saw that
Yeah.
shit was not going to work.
Of course, with we'll get to the Wonder Book later. But,
Okay, we'll get to the Wonder.
Well,
Yeah.
should we start off Ubisoft
All right,
next?
what's next?
Well,
Whatever's
next was the EA conference, so we want to just go
EA
in
conference.
chronological order.
Okay.
Okay, you said EA conference. What the hell did they show there?
Dead
I don't quite
Space.
remember.
The
Okay.
very first thing to show was Dead Space 3.
Okay, did I miss that one?
You two are
Yeah.
Dead Space fans. What did you think of the things you saw for Dead Space 3?
Alright.
I definitely agree with you on the fact that the horror is gone and it's
Yeah.
But it's good if you look at it as an action game. Like, don't look at it as a horror game anymore.
I just
Yeah.
I just find it funny that they finally like, okay, we're not gonna try to scare you
Yeah.
anymore.
I mean, after Dead Space 2,
Kind of.
it towards the middle of the game, I kind of actually lost interest in it as a whole. I was
Didn't it take you like a
I was so tired of going to a place. Yeah, okay, I made it here. Here we go, fix that shit. Boom. Sorry, Isaac, that thing doesn't work either. You know, fuck you later. Why couldn't you tell me that worked before I headed over here to fix this shit? And when you finally get over to the other place to fix that, oh, they get attacked or something breaks and you gotta fix it. I'm just so tired of going and fixing places and having something else break down, no feeling of accomplishment does not drive me forward.
The problem too with Dead Space 2 that I found was, like, you kept on going back to the same place.
Same places.
Every time. There was nothing new really that much.
Yeah. Like, you're always, like, in the same virtual area. Like,
So,
I've been here before.
With no lighting.
do you think they're gonna fix those problems in the third game?
Well, I see that third game. It looks
I
like
haven't
it's
seen
in a
enough
planet.
gameplay in itself to...
That's what I heard.
But, yeah, that's another thing. Like, they turn the lights off and they brand it as a totally different area on Dead Space 2.
Also, they added co-op to Dead Space 3. What do you guys think?
Which
about that?
lowers
Co-op
the
automatically takes all horror out.
Fear 3.
Just like when we played Dead Space, like the second one
As a group.
in one of our episodes, like there's parts that are scary, but when we're all playing it as a group, no, the part that would be you couldn't get it, but trust me, there's parts that would be scary that we played if you're playing in the dark with like surround sound that would actually genuinely creep you out. But us playing as a group, there's just nothing fun.
I'm gonna be honest, I got a shooter vibe out of what we played, not a horror vibe.
We weren't in the right environment. You were with us, so you just
I got
get
third-person shooter out of that.
But that's what it is now, a third-person shooter. But
it wouldn't be good.
Dead Space used to be scary. It used to be the scariest
Dead Space
game out
1
there.
was really scary.
It was scary,
yeah.
and then Dead Space 2.
I mean, I'm critical of Dead Space. You know I'm critical of the Dead Space franchise.
He had a voice, I think.
No,
That kind of made less.
No.
I'm not sure when it
I
comes
don't
to
agree.
you have to
I
have
think
a,
the voice actually.
100%.
I'm
I don't know.
I'm gonna say the voice did make the horror just go away.
I
but
think
when he dies,
I think having
you feel a little bit personal because you actually know his personality. You know what he's like.
Yeah.
You know this is a stressed out motherfucker who's in a stressful situation.
Yeah, like you know that this guy.
I mean, to be fair, if I was in a situation, I would be
can-
cussing my brains out as well.
You can feel for the guy and like understand like, oh, he's had to go through this right now with dementia.
But like in one, like he walks, you never hear him say nothing. I mean, that's what I think. I mean, yeah, it's cool that they give him a voice.
But you can
Like,
connect to the person.
Like when you died in the first Dead Space, okay, I'm just this puppet guy that, oh, he's cool, he's dead. Look at that.
He's wearing a mask, he doesn't talk, okay.
Yeah, I don't even know what he looks like.
I feel like I should be the enemy here.
Same reason why no one cared that, Master Chief ever died. Like when you ever get killed, because you have no idea what the fuck he looks like.
So one thing I heard about the co-op is that the story will change slightly if you have a co-op partner versus if you're playing a single player by yourself. Like if you have a co-op partner, the scenes will change. They will incorporate him into the scenes. What do you think about that?
So
that's pretty cool.
Okay, that's an option.
The only other time I actually seen that happen was a game called Shank. Like they had a single player experience, but the co-op experience was a whole prequel to the first game, to the actual single player, and it was cool.
No, it's the same story. It's the same exact story, but they're just going to include him in the scenes.
What I'm saying is this the first time where I've seen the co-op story actually change, even a little bit, when you have a co-op partner as opposed to no co-op partner.
Yeah, it just explained, like playing the co-op just explains a lot more.
See, when I saw that, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but the first thing I got was like, oh, now I'm going to be missing out on a couple of things, and I'm going to have to play co-op to get the whole story. And if I was a fan of Dead Space, that would kind of piss me off.
Well, it would depend on how much the story changes by co-op.
Yeah.
To be fair, we don't know the answer to that question.
It could just be like a line said, or maybe just a wider pan out of the camera to incorporate both of you guys into the shot. Or
But I mean, that was the first thing came to my mind, is that's you're taking from me, and I don't like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a way they could have done that in another way that wouldn't have elicited that reaction, but...
Well, maybe you could think of it this way. Maybe they have, like, AI.
I mean, to be fair, no, it's going to be single... They're going to have no partner if you go single player.
And
No, actually, no, you have a partner
We all
single
know
player.
that AI co-op never, ever goes well. Just look at Sheva
Like Resident Evil
Alomar.
5?
No one likes Sheva
I thought those
Alomar.
were pretty good. No, it's terrible.
Well, Resident Evil 6 is going to be the exact same way.
She wastes your bullets, and she uses your health packs, and she just throws your shit away, and she's always dying. Resident Evil 4, Ashley Graham. No.
That's why I like the companions in Fallout. Actually, the companions in Fallout New Vegas are actually very good, because they won't use your stuff unless you tell them that you can use their stuff.
Well, that's different from co-op. You
They're
can actually
basically
go through the game.
Yeah, well, they're basically just...
Single player.
Well, they're basically just pack mules, but...
So using Sheva as a pack mule is a bad idea, because she'll just use all your shit.
Yeah, like,
Full
first
health?
aid.
Well, here you go,
And-
first aid. It's like, I didn't need them.
How do you feel Resident Evil 6, also in Microsoft's conference, having the same exact thing?
I think they could have did a lot better with it. Like, I would have felt a lot...
See, once again, I did not see the Microsoft conference.
I've seen the
Yeah,
trailer.
but they
for it,
showed
though.
gameplay of Resident Evil 6, and it's going to be the exact same way Resident Evil 5 was when it comes to its co-op.
I feel that making it a co-op takes a lot of horror out.
You'll
of
have
it.
you'll have an AI partner with you if you don't. Go
Well,
co-op.
I think it'll be different because one, it's a different feel, different like environment, characters. More, it's not tank. It's not tank controls anymore. You don't have to stop and turn around and aim. You can aim, move, swivel all around.
I mean, I know the controls are better, but I still get the feeling this is going to be Sheva 2.0.
I doubt it though.
No,
I honestly doubt it. I think it'll be way better.
I think
Knowing Capcom.
And
Well,
Resident
Capcom
Evil,
right now doesn't have a good rep, so
yeah, Resident
It is
Evil
or something.
Operation.
let's not get into that.
And Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City.
That was terrible.
Like I actually had zero problems with that AI. I don't, but
Really?
like I
Did you have
did.
any problems?
No, not one actually.
I couldn't walk through a landmine without my people dying, and I swear to God.
No, that never happened for me.
I doubt there was this one part in that game where the door is right there. Okay, they had these mines, up and down. All you had to do was move. Okay, dip, dodge. Okay, you're good. You just walk. It wasn't even hard, and they walked right out there like someone blindfolded.
But that
and blew
that
themselves
never
to
happened for
shit.
me. But the only time something like that did happen was when you're on the elevator in the fire.
My thing is, when you said that, I thought the companions in the original Fallout 1. Because I know this is kind of unrelated, but I gave one of my guys a submachine gun, and the first thing he did in the fight was shoot me in the back. Because his AI was fucking retarded, and I died, and I had to start all over again.
But back to what I was saying, I think, compared to Sheva, they excelled a little bit more. Like,
at least Sheva.
Comparing to Sheva isn't that big of a deal.
but still, I mean, Sheva was that bad compared to.
I mean, she wasn't a big support, but was your partners in Operation Raccoon really that big of a support either?
No, I could have played that game on my own.
I definitely
in
could have
the
done
same
myself. I
way.
was killing more than they were.
Yeah, but I mean, just saying.
And besides the fact that they didn't support offline co-op,
I know that
like,
that
what
was
the
a
fuck?
way. No, I didn't agree with that.
Okay, let's move on. Let's go back to EA. One thing they announced was a new Medal of Honor game.
That looks good.
I don't
that's my
actually.
opinion.
I don't actually follow
Shooters.
military shooters.
I mean, this is what I know. I mean, I've been following a little bit. All right.
Ben's the military shooter of the group.
Right. Well, I mean, what they're doing is like the online. It may sound like typical, but with the features, what they're having is more of a FIFA pride, like for your country.
I never played FIFA Pride.
Well, I mean, other country soccer and stuff, but they're having 16 different countries like special ops teams. And let's say you're from Russia,
Like the SEALs or the Spetsnaz.
Yeah, you don't want to play as a U.S. Navy SEALs. You want to play as your own country.
Oh, so you mean like nations?
So it won't be like a random, like you're the good guy, you're the enemy. You're playing as your own good guy, and then you just. It feels more country pride.
If I'm gonna be blunt, the first thing I saw when I saw Medal of Honor was that this is a little unnecessary.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Because EA also owns the Battlefield franchise, the supposed Call of Duty killers.
What the fuck doesn't EA own?
I will get back to you on that.
Good basketball game, I guess.
They don't own a good basketball.
yeah.
The NBA Elite and got canceled. That's it. And
EA
that's
owns the Battlefield franchise, and since that's one supposed to be competing with Call of Duty every year, I don't know what the whole point of Medal of Honor is.
Well, I mean,
I don't know what its existence is supposed to do.
Well, after what happened to Medal of Honor, after the Taliban bullshit, it lost its rep. And I think this one, in my opinion, is going to get the rep back. But, Call of Duty is always going to win because bigger fan base. But I think this is going to be a little bit better. We
can talk about Call of Duty later on,
Well,
during our miscellaneous section. But
I actually have a special place in my heart for Medal of Honor. Because I actually used to play military shooters a lot when I was younger. For the PlayStation when the first Medal of Honor came out. I played the shit out of that. I played shit out of the second one, whatever the subtitles names, for the PlayStation 1. I didn't really pick much up for the PlayStation 2, but I had one of them for Xbox, and we played the shit out of it. It was fun.
Me, you, and Guardy.
Yeah. And then it just kind of fell off for a couple years, and Call of Duty took over, and I wasn't really feeling
it
Call of Duty.
It didn't come out a lot for the PS3 360. They only had like one game. It was Airborne. Terrible. That was just jumping out of planes, and then they made that Medal of Honor that came out 2 years ago. The
That mediocre shit one, and then here's this new one coming out.
Yeah, so I mean, it had a long gap. So I mean, I guess it lost its fans, I guess.
Yeah.
In a way.
moving on through EA's conference, one thing I noticed is that there were a couple of Facebook social games they were announcing on EA's conference.
What the fuck is that?
You know, like Facebook
Like
games.
Facebook Angry Birds, right?
That you
Or
can
something
play
like
on
that.
Facebook?
Yeah. One thing, I counted 3 different social games from their conference,
Now, when you say social games,
but
you
the
mean, like,
only one I can
Social
remember,
network games.
the only one I can
PlayStation or
remember,
something?
No, they can play on
well,
Facebook.
like on Facebook.
And like
What?
compare your scores with your
The only thing I
friends
can
on Facebook.
remember, the only one I can really remember was the Sims Social. The other 2 were so irrelevant to me that I didn't even acknowledge them. Like, I don't. What do you think these social games will do? Like, what do you think their purpose is?
I don't know. That's just for Facebook.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've got nothing.
Like,
I mean, Facebook-
I know Facebook. You can
Compare-
probably there's gonna be tons of microtransactions and all that to make the quick bucks.
Right.
But like, what is the point
I'm
of
sure
their
that
existence?
I mean, that's a big thing.
Like, I don't know how many people will play it. I imagine a lot of people are gonna play the Sims Social. Actually, now I think about it, because I know the Sims audience is generally the kind of people that will play Facebook games.
Yeah, you're right.
People that are
You're
always
right.
on the computer.
Always on a computer, or they just sit on a PlayStation 3 play nothing.
But that just seems, I don't know, like,
Hmm?
why would you announce that during E3?
Because
Yeah,
they can,
E3.
because they're EA and they can do whatever the fuck they want.
I just wanted to bring that up, see what you guys thought about that.
I don't know what to think about
I don't.
that.
well, are they
That is genuinely
I mean,
asinine in
That's a
every
point
way.
that I had to take a note of.
Like,
I
are they?
don't know how to interpret that myself either.
Are the games gonna be free?
Free to
You have
play.
pay.
Free to
Yeah, how-
play.
But why are you
What's the point of
advertising
making
it if
that?
it's free?
Yeah.
Free
like,
to
how
play,
does that
but you
work?
can use. They're gonna have microtransactions, I imagine.
To buy.
Knowing EA,
Well, I mean, that's just like any game. You just buy stuff.
like in the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, which I kind of hate. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, no, you can buy or use credits.
I know, but I do not want collectible card games in my multiplayer.
Collectible card games.
You know, buying booster packs, getting new cards, putting them into your weapons.
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
Okay, once
Like,
again,
what's it?
irrelevance.
No, I get what you mean. I get it.
But that's a side topic.
Yeah, I got
One
it.
more thing I took note of during EA's conference, the only thing of significance I took up is that there was no Mirror's Edge 2.
Well, I mean, they never said that was coming out soon.
Yeah.
But I
That could be a
I
2014
would like-
launch for all we
I
fucking
would
know.
like something about
That
that.
could even be like a 2014 launch.
I just
I would
said.
like to know.
Oh, I thought you said 13.
Be fair, I heard 13
2013 was
too.
last
I
year.
said 14.
I heard 13.
I said 14.
2013 was last year.
2013 was last year.
Yeah, I
But
think-
yeah,
Still no logic.
it's like you know I'm a Mirror's Edge fan. At least I liked the game enough to.
Brennan does like Mirror's Edge. It got.
I
real
mean, I
boring.
hate the second half of Mirror's Edge, but I still like the game as a whole. I hated the entire second half of it, but I hated
Turned
it.
into a shooter.
If maybe the shooting controls were better.
Maybe if there weren't no shooting.
Yeah, like I didn't really care. I didn't want a shooty bits
Yeah.
in my parkour game.
Like maybe like disarm them.
I didn't
I'm
want
okay
shooty
with
bits in my
that.
parkour game. I'll be bluntly
I
honest.
know, right?
Nobody did. It's a parkour game.
Oh, and that would have been a pretty decent.
You know, it's made to be a.
The thing that kept me what's the word?
Interested?
Yeah, interested. And in the game was the training level. I was on the training level longer than I was actually playing the
To
game.
be fair, the train level is a very fun level.
Yeah, but I mean that's
Yeah,
where you
That's true.
that's where you parkoured and did what you needed to do. That is all.
So I guess I could talk about Need for Speed and all that, but I don't really care if you guys want to talk about it.
I can't.
I'm not
I absolutely
interested.
can't stand.
The only racing game I like is
games.
Mario Kart. That's it.
So then we can move on to Ubisoft's press conference, which I actually found very
Does that really
interesting.
have to pronounce Ubi?
Yeah,
So
Ubisoft.
was
That's
It's
Ubisoft.
not Ubisoft?
He said
I think
Ubi.
either or is fine.
He said Ubisoft.
Gooby.
Ubi. Come, Clancy.
One other thing I want to make, I just want to get this out of the way. They tried to be funny again,
They did?
and they failed so horribly.
Okay, let's hear it.
Like there was this, during the Far Cry 3 demo after the thing finished, the woman host was like, "I think I wanted to get my own tiger and shoot in the face too," and it was like, "Yeah, that's not a funny joke, woman."
Yeah, we went through this
That's
once.
Not a funny joke.
To be fair, she did better than Mr. Caffeine. To be fair, but that's not saying much.
It's like, we went through this last year. Let's not do it again.
Let's just try not talking about that. And they also brought Tobuscus. You know Tobuscus,
Yeah,
right?
Tobuscus,
the
yeah.
literal assassin.
You know Toby game.
And-
Toby? The
Oh,
ultimate
the-
epic
oh.
win.
Why the hell didn't you say Toby?
Because Tobuscus is actual YouTube name.
Okay, but I know who Toby. Fuck you.
Yeah, he was on there. He he actually really failed the jokes as well. I'm not gonna lie.
I never thought that him being funny.
It was actually a sight to see.
Oh,
He was I liked him because he's just entertaining, not really funny, but oh, he's doing this.
He wasn't entertaining either.
Oh, you.
Brandon's a tough crowd.
Everyone's
Like,
critical.
I mean, like,
Brandon's
it's-
serious
Just
critic.
Brandon.
There wasn't a single chuckle or anything in the audience either, so they were clearly not getting it either. So yeah, they tried the laughs, it didn't work.
No
It
laugh.
failed really
God
horribly.
damn, I just farted.
Alright, now
Let's talk about the next game from we saw. Let's talk about Assassin's Creed 3.
Alright, I have a lot of very, strong
Yes.
feelings on this.
Let's start with Dylan.
Then say them.
This boat kind of thing. I don't
This
understand.
boat, I'm done.
Well, that was in the Sony press conference. We talk about it
Yeah.
anyway.
No way, we're not in
It doesn't matter. It's Ubisoft. The boat gameplay, I don't know why. I would rather be stalking people through trees
I think that was just a
Like
bad.
that.
than
do in real
shooting
life.
someone on a
I think that was
boat.
just a
I
bad
said that
start.
well at some point out. This could be just like
Bad
the
fucking
chariot,
show. I mean,
where they only show it for like
That was-
one or two scenes
That
and
was
never
interesting.
again.
That was
Yeah,
definitely
I
so
see a lot
boring.
of that in past.
I mean, if they
Assassin's
show
Creed
it,
games.
if they only have like one or two sections of it, I don't think I would mind it that much, truth be told.
I have a
No.
feeling that's how you're going to be fucking traveling around the world in that.
I mean,
better not. That'd be terrible.
It looked actually quite beautiful, like from a graphic standpoint.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
But
graphics
let's
don't
talk
make
about
a game.
gameplay
Yeah, but
standpoint.
Yeah.
Boring
gameplay,
as shit.
I hate ship combat. Like, I hate any sort of ship combat in a video game.
Even
That's
like-
not a ship simulation. Like, I don't care. I don't want it. I don't want it.
So
Yeah,
you,
it's just
you'd rather
boring.
play like a ship simulation?
Like,
No, I
that
would.
shit?
That's what you just said.
That means if it's a ship simulation, I know I can just avoid it.
Oh.
But
I think it was just a bad thing to start off.
yeah,
Definitely
like,
bad
They
thing to
should.
show.
They should have shown more like in the forest kind
Like-
of.
like, is it supposed to be like?
I'm sure some people will be excited about that.
Is
Yeah.
it supposed to be like a running joke? I mean, last year Revelations, you're on a fiery boats, right? From now you're
For
driving
exactly
a boat?
one scene in the game.
Yeah, I'm just saying boats. I mean, how you know that's not
So,
gonna
I mean,
be?
that's the only way to travel from country to country. So.
well,
No,
so boats.
yeah.
Yeah, you drive into entire countries on this fucking boat.
Yeah, but I mean, you
Fire
know,
cannons.
he'd probably be dead by then.
Fucking
You know how many
pandemonium.
people
Well, naval
died?
warfare was a crucial part of the Revolutionary War.
No, I understand,
Yeah.
but
No,
I
so
don't.
that's
I
probably
don't
they're
want
probably
that in
taking
my
more.
Assassin's-
I don't want it in my
Assassin's Creed game.
I don't
I
play
don't
Assassin's
either.
Creed,
You know
but I
why?
don't want boats in
You know
Assassin's
why?
Creed.
I don't
This
want
is
boats
what
myself, stabby.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Boats.
about. Like,
Boat
That's
Creed.
ships or
The
captain.
thing
I
when
want
that
naval
ship.
creeds.
the
Well, I mean, I'm not going to pass judgment until I've actually played it for myself. It could be a very good game. I don't think so because I've seen ship combat before and quite frankly it's really good.
Maybe that's gonna be the only downside, maybe.
Yeah, but I also I like how the new gameplay, like
Oh yeah,
fighting,
the new gameplay and
and the new look, like new animation style.
the new I like actually the new way he climbed the trees.
Yeah,
Like I know it's a very small thing to say, but I like the way he was climbing trees. That looks pretty fun to do.
I like those ways.
It's because we never climbed trees before.
No, we
It's
just-
The one thing that most humans can climb we haven't climbed
It's
it.
the only thing a human can climb
Yes.
without help.
without help. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you climb a mountain, you gotta have
It's a
and I-
tree.
I
'Cause we
like.
suck as a species.
No, I'm excited for Assassin's Creed 3. I'm very excited for the game. I've seen
Number 30.
the gameplay. I've seen the way. I saw the gameplay trailer. I like how I like the Connor. I like how he moves. I like how he kills stuff with his tomahawks.
Yeah, it looks very like a evolution, definitely a better Assassin's Creed game.
Like
not
a
just
breath
copy
of,
of
like a
another one.
much needed breath of fresh air for this
Yeah.
franchise. Because let's be honest,
New.
Brotherhood and Revelations, they were starting to get old.
New.
I think Revelations.
Revelations
Brotherhood was still kind of
was
there.
getting.
What the
Rev-
hell was Revelations again?
When he was
It
old.
was Alessio in Constantinople.
Yeah.
This is.
I keep forgetting about that shit. For the longest time, I swear it was Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, and Brotherhood.
Because
That was it for me. I don't even remember the rest.
because Revelation wasn't by the time Revelation
It
came
didn't
out,
really stand out.
the kind of TV commercial for video games were way lower then. Like back then you used to see a lot of video game commercials.
Even then, amongst all the games that were coming out that year, Assassin's Creed didn't really stand out that much.
What are you laughing about?
That made no sense.
It was another Assassin's
Yes, he
Creed.
did.
But it didn't.
I-
What did that to do?
Actually, I saw a lot of commercials for Assassin's Creed Revelations.
I mean, it was another
I
Assassin's.
barely-
But it seemed like all of them were just pushing that character for multiplayer. The one with the mask.
Yeah.
Oh, the Harley.
Yeah, the Harlequin.
Yeah, it seemed a lot
And
of
that's
them
all-
were
that's
just
all GameStop
pushing
showed.
that one character.
That's because that was a GameStop doing that ad, not
Yeah,
Ubisoft.
that's games that pre-ordered the game and you get.
Because you
this.
know,
right.
GameStop tends to bastardize whatever game it makes in its ads.
Right.
Never mind doing all the other ads they've done in the past.
Yeah, you gotta make money somehow.
I like the bunny one. That was pretty cool.
The bunny?
Yeah,
That's because there was no to the game tied to that particular ad. All you have to do with actual games and them tend to suck.
They did actually make a game of that though, on the iPod. I got it. It's okay. I got it. It's okay. It's
Cool story, bro.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
definitely a cool stuff.
thanks. I appreciate it.
So I have Watch Dogs, but I don't want to wait till we talk about Watch Dogs. I want to talk about Watch Dogs, but they announced two games. They announced 2 games for the Wii U. They announced a new Rayman game for the Wii U
Yeah. I heard.
and Zombie U.
And more.
Now, what is Zombie U?
Zombie U is a zombie survival game.
I'm pretty sure they're changing the Zombie U name because now they're talking about it being on like multi-consoles, like
Okay.
PS3.
Okay.
Like it's a
Every zombie game. is a
hyper-realistic zombie
survival.
game where one hit, well, one bite will kill you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not feeling that.
No, I'm feeling
And
it.
you have to use the Wii U to aim your shots. You have to use the Wii U to hack doors.
Is it an
So,
FPS or third
so
person?
it is a.
It looks like an RPG. Kind of sounds like.
If I'm gonna be honest, any game that uses door hacking as one of its central advertising
Kind of sounds
points
like an RPG.
is something that I'm kind of shy away from.
Yeah, like hack doors
So-
with
Like,
this.
oh
Wii
yeah,
remote.
you can hack doors.
Break it.
Why you just break the door open? We were in science, like,
No.
and like
We're not in
like
some-
2045, whatever. I don't
To be
know.
fair, I didn't really pay a
Future?
whole lot of attention to Zombie U, so I can't really comment on
How
it.
are you breaking into high security prisons? or
People
something? Hacking
people who
doors?
have played the game apparently say that it's actually really good, but I'm skeptical.
If it's
I'm-
first person and you're just shooting zombies, it is a first person
House
shooter.
of the Dead.
It is House of the Dead. It is Dead Island.
Well, no,
Apparently-
that was
Dead
a
Island
real-
Apparently, this was
real
more
shooter.
focused on the survival elements of a zombie game more than the shooty elements of a zombie game. The part where you had to manage resources and stay alive.
Right.
So that was more of a survival game than a shooter.
So kind of like I Am Alive.
I didn't play that yet, and I plan to eventually. I plan to play the demo eventually.
Just fucking play Last of Us. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
Way better.
this is way
I
better.
don't, have,
Yeah.
I don't have a demo of Last of Us yet.
I would just do that
It
instead.
will
Just
come up.
don't bother with I Am Alive because it's not worth $15.
What about the
I'd say
Ram?
the
Did you see
demo.
the Rayman game?
No,
Yes,
but I'm
I-
not too interested in Rayman anymore. So
I feel that
it doesn't seem the same as it used to be when it first came
I
out.
feel that it's not gonna bring too much new to the table.
one.
Like
I wanna
it
be
looks like a
honest.
sequel.
The only application there for the pad is that one character that can break whatever he wants to at any given time, and that didn't seem like a very interesting use of the Wii U to me.
Yeah, like it wasn't anything that.
I'm not that interested in Rayman, so.
I like the origin.
I
like,
like-
it's a cool co-op.
I liked Rayman. I played Rayman 1 and Rayman 2, and I had fun with it. Hoodlum Havoc kind of destroyed my love
What
of
is
Rayman.
what is Hoodlum Havoc?
It's Rayman 3.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
What's this thing came out for?
Rayman's.
I had the PS2 version.
Okay, so
They needed a game like Rayman Origins to get it out of that fucking
that 3D
Raving
run.
Rabbids fucking
Yeah.
bullshit.
And I would have bought Origins if it wasn't $60.
Same Raven Map. Raven,
Yeah, but
Yeah, 60
Rabbit.
bucks.
got-
Like what? Yeah,
Give
Raving
it- give it
Rabbids.
its
They
old
have
game.
originally
What the
gonna be
fuck?
DLC,
The
just like not DLC, but
Skylander.
normal downloadable.
Like
content.
downloadable game.
Yeah, like a downloadable game, but you're gonna be like, and it ranged from like 20 to like 50 maybe.
Yeah, and I
Not
would.
really.
And to be fair, I
What's
would.
Game
talking about?
Online? I haven't played the
To be
game
fair,
for $50.
I would have bought
There's a
that.
lot
And
of
just
games.
like Origins, it didn't look
Like-
like a $60 game to me. It didn't look like
It
$60.
doesn't. It
It's
doesn't.
It's
It really
definitely
doesn't.
it's not a $60 game at all.
It's not.
Seems more like a 40, 30.
It's
Maybe-
more like a $20
I-
game.
I would have gone 20, maybe even
Maybe
15.
25.
Maybe
I would say 25.
Depends on
Maybe.
how
High
much
is 25, definitely.
in taxes.
Taxes.
And taxes.
Yeah, so takes it back down to 15.
No, everyone
Yeah,
we're
I'm
in
gonna be
Delaware.
honest. Rayman
We don't
didn't.
pay
And I got a wedgie.
Rayman just
Nope.
didn't delight me when I saw it. It didn't delight me like it should.
It just
Like
it,
Rayman Origins delighted me when I saw it. I was happy when
Yeah,
I
it
saw
was
it.
a
That's
new-
because you're so used to seeing Raving Rabbids bullshit that when you saw Rayman Origins, you're
I'm
like,
also used
you're
to
like
seeing.
finally.
they should
I'm
have
also
put.
seeing lots of gray and brown corridors in my games, and all these drizzled hardcore shooters.
They should
So
have.
seeing something that was colorful was refreshing.
Yeah, I understand. They
Like,
should have.
oh my god, you use more than gray in your color palette.
Yeah, that 100 colors I can use. You can use different
I'm telling you,
colors.
there's like 64,000.
You use more than the 20 shades of gray that people use. And it was nice to see something that actually knows how to use color correctly.
And because you know, like
That's a small thing to say, but it's really important.
But you know, game creators are like, what should we make the wall? what is a wall? Gray?
What's a wall, really?
Let's make it the same
What is a
gunmetal
wall?
gray we
What
make
is a
everything
wall?
else in this goddamn game. I'm looking at you, Gears of War. Yeah, I called out Gears of War for being shitty when it comes to its colors.
God, man, it is all one color.
It's like gray, red.
It is like gray,
It's like gray and then like
on top of lighter gray, on top of darker gray.
Like black blood.
and like black.
That just makes black.
That just makes black.
So now let's talk about the big thing at Ubisoft's press conference. Let's talk about the new IP Watch Dogs.
Okay.
Alright.
I am actually very, very excited for Watch Dogs. When I saw it, I was.
This game is ripping off GTA. I'm just joking, dog.
It's the next Assassin's Creed.
It's pretty cool.
To be fair, that's
It's very neat.
That's
yeah.
really good.
It's another unique game from Ubisoft Montreal.
No, it's a new series, a new
Yes,
game.
it's a
It's
It's
not
a new
another
series
Assassin's
and a new
Creed.
game that's going to have one
And a new
game
type of
and
game.
fall off completely.
and a new type of gameplay
think so.
too.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
What happened to Assassin's
Well,
Creed?
we said the same thing about Assassin's Creed. Look how far back
It
that
was
goes.
But
a new
just
game.
just the way it
Was
is,
it the
it's so
fifth one
unique
now?
that it'll have
Well,
one game.
remember Assassin's Creed came out.
It'll be gone forever.
So with Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed, that was a very unique thing when it happened.
Yeah, but this one's
That's
even
what
more.
everyone compared it to.
I just don't think there's going to be any sequels for this shit.
Oh, it depends how the ending is. So.
It wouldn't be that hard. Like I have to hear the story.
It all depends if
So-
the ending.
Yes.
Yeah, but I say it wouldn't be hard to make a sequel.
Is when a
Just
game's got a
incorporate the
like
same.
I don't want to call it a gimmick, but like a feature that like robust and unique. It's hard to build on that because if you just release a sequel with nothing new, people be like this is some bullshit.
Well, the first
Regardless-
iteration's usually the worst. They could just tidy it up for the sequel, like make it better.
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe
but what if you
enhance
can
the
make it better? What if
graphics.
that's as good as it can actually get?
Then they
And you just
cancel
release
it.
it. You
Then
release.
you use something else to make it different.
Maybe
Like
the
what?
things inside its
Like
body
either
that
make a
bind
new
it,
story or a new
it's
setting,
Okay, be a new
Or
story.
it's just
What
That'd
if?
be terrible.
What if
That
you
just
had a
makes it
new
hard for
story?
me.
add new
Make it
commands or something.
But now it's
I'm just saying. What if? Say you play like a simple
game.
game, like moves and shit. Then you had the same game but with a different story. Would you be kind of pissed?
Look at Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you guys are stupid.
Well, no, I'm just saying. Like, look at that. It's the
Well,
same thing.
the rest of
I don't have a high opinion of Call of Duty fans, so
rest of the games of the gaming world, they need a little bit more than nothing.
A little bit
From-
more.
from
Let's
the-
not
Well,
say
no, I'm
nothing.
just
Let's
saying,
say
like,
a different.
not even major. It's just small minor things like Ratchet and
No.
Clank, for example. The first game was very, very bare bones. The second added a level up system to the game, which totally changed the game. Like almost
Yeah.
just that small little touch radically changed the entire game.
They also had new guns too.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
new additions to the game in
Guns,
itself.
too.
New armor also.
But what can you really do with a game like Watch Dogs that's new? Level up system. How the hell are you gonna level up?
I don't think you're.
Farther
New
reach.
gun. What are you gonna do? Oh, new shotgun.
Well, all I say is like we don't know how this is gonna end.
This just
It's
this
Like,
is
it's
I'm just
not.
going
It's
by-
not going to be perfect the first time around. It's
I'm just
not.
going by what I'm seeing initially.
Trust me, it's not going to be perfect the first time around. There's going to
Yeah.
be there is going to be flaws. Any new IP does.
Of
Assassin's
course,
Creed
You know,
had
game,
Assassin's Creed 1 had tons of flaws in it, but it was a very, very good game at its core.
like a game like I could say it was good, but never had a sequel coming. No.
It had a comedy game.
No, that was a prequel.
No, it
No,
wasn't.
no, it wasn't even made by the same company.
No, that was a direct sequel to a comedy.
No, that it was.
Not by the same studio.
You're
Same
wrong.
Same studio got
You
shut
are
down.
wrong.
But the same studio got shut
Yeah,
down.
the
But
studio got
sold
shut
its
down.
rights.
Yeah.
They sold its rights. And
No,
then
no,
they
it got
sold
shut
They didn't have
down.
to sell its right. It's a Capcom game.
It got
It
shut
It was
down.
the studio that made it
Yeah.
did get shut down.
They just
He is-
moved. They
moved
just
it.
move it though. They don't
And
sell
then
it.
it
They
went
just
to a
move it.
comment and a direct sequel.
Not from sequel. So
It's a direct sequel.
It is a sequel.
It's
Not
with
that I know.
with this her son.
Her
It's a
son.
direct
Anyway,
sequel.
You
I'm.
fucked her.
Let's talk about the actual game instead of
God,
what it could
another
be.
dog?
Dog.
What did you
Well,
think?
it's not a comedy too. It says Okada.
Let's
It's
go
a
back to
Okami
Watch
game.
Dogs.
It's not.
You
still
you
talking
also
about
you
dogs.
saw the gameplay
Yeah.
trip. You saw the gameplay trip. You saw the gameplay, right? You
Oh,
saw
boy.
it.
I did,
Oh,
and,
Watch
and that's where I'm
Yeah.
drawing my conclusions from.
What did you think of the actual game? Because I actually looked. I thought
Really
that
good.
was really interesting.
Really
It looks
easy.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it does. Like I want to know.
Like,
what
I've
we're
never
gonna
seen
get.
I've never seen that before in a video game. I've never seen like the way they have to interact with the world. I've never seen that before. It's a new thing to me.
I want to
It
see how
is.
far they get with
Like
that.
I was watching it, right? Okay, I was watching it, and it was cool. I was like, this is pretty cool the way you controlling shit. And as soon as the shooting thing started happening, where he's like taking cover behind the car, I was like,
Yeah.
what is this bullshit? This is just another game. It will, and you know it will just boil down to you don't even need this shit. Just shoot everybody.
Well, the whole game is going to be built on the choice to do what you to play through the missions how you want to.
Oh
play
yeah,
I don't
that
even-
hasn't been said before.
I don't think he.
Well, they like
didn't have to.
Deus
change
Ex
the
did the
lights.
same thing, and Deus
Yeah.
Ex did it very, very well.
I'm just saying, eventually, like I was watching, and then once he ducked down and went to a shootout, I was like, there goes all the uniqueness right there. It's just a shootout.
Yeah.
He's an
I'm
assassin.
gonna be honest.
Why couldn't he just like do something else besides have a shootout with some guy in the middle of everything?
I'm gonna be
That was
honest.
a guy's choice to
I
do
totally
that.
agree with you there. I'm gonna be honest. The shootout is the part where it's like, really?
Like-
I understand they were to like put like assassin. Like you said, he's assassin, right?
Yeah, he was like a high
Act
killer.
like some assassin, like sneaking in the shadows or
Well, I
something.
mean, it was just the guy's choice to do that.
Yeah, that was the guy choosing to go to a shootout. He didn't
Yeah.
have to.
I'm just saying, it will boil down to having a shootout will be easier than all the other
To
directions.
be fair, what he could have probably done is just let the guy come into the club and beat his ass in the middle of the club.
Yeah, he could have done that.
He could have done that as well.
Do they have stealth kills? Have they like released that? Like,
I don't know if they
But
said
doesn't he
they're
have a baton?
gonna have stealth gameplay. But you did see that guy kick that bodyguard's ass,
Yeah,
right?
with the baton, right?
I only saw one clip of gameplay.
Like,
And that was the one where he was he like put on an alarm, and he would walk right into the club,
why not?
the movie theater.
But did you
actually.
see the one when you beat the crap out of that one guy with the baton?
That's what I just talked about.
Like, beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, there's obviously gonna be some sort of melee, so it means there's probably gonna be some sort of stealth takedown if I had to guess. And I always play the game stealth if I can help it, so that's gonna be
Deus
that's
Ex
exciting for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just watch our Deus Ex video. You'll see why Brandon tried to do
Well,
stealth.
I usually save scum
Be-
through those.
Because, in the words of Dylan, he got spotted, and now they're going to kill you because you can't seem to last very long.
That was good. That was good. What's next?
So that was it for the Ubisoft press conference. Let's move on to Nintendo.
I didn't really see a lot of
I didn't
Nintendo.
see it.
I didn't even watch it.
All I heard was a
but
controller.
I'll just give you my
The first thing that
input.
I have down here is that Nintendo recently announced their Miiverse, which is their online component for the Wii U.
Now, would they use your Mii characters or just like different?
You know what's going to happen? No one's going to use it because they will not get rid of that stupid friend code. Friend code bullshit.
Yeah.
No,
They would not get rid of it.
It's such a
What's
strict
gonna
community.
It is.
It is.
Dude,
It's
what
so
they
annoying.
showed at the press conference was that when you boot up your game, it's going to get you into Miiverse, and it's going to show you your Mii with a bunch of other Miis from other people across the world. And it's going to be there's going to be speech bubbles and all that you can use to chat with these random ass people.
So like,
So, like,
PlayStation
like-
Home.
PlayStation Home.
But you still can't use it because they won't get rid of the stupid friend code. You can only
And
talk
it
to people
will-
with this friend code you have.
And they announced that you can even do that, chat with people mid-game. You can have someone oh yeah, I got a high score in Smash Brothers U. And can you beat my high score? And then everyone's going to come up and they're going to see that post and they're like, I'm going to try to beat his high score.
Yeah, PlayStation Home. Yeah.
PlayStation Home. And one Super
gonna be in the
Smash
middle of the
Bros.
game?
is not rated on scores anyway. It
is a fighting game.
it's a metaphor.
Wait,
Let's not get into that right now.
Mario Brothers.
I'm just
though.
saying that's just okay. Mario Brothers. I'm saying Super Smash Bros. is not a good example. Sorry.
But then, part of me is like, why would I want that in the middle of my game?
yeah,
like-
right.
It's like, I am very, very
Yeah,
single
fine.
player.
Very. It's just Nintendo, despite the fact that when the DS first came out and everybody complained about the friend code, that they still brought it over to the Wii. Where if for some retarded ass reason, you're playing online on the Wii,
The reason they did it
you
is
can't make any friends because you can't.
they
use the
wanted
friend
to
code
protect
you can't
children.
remember.
You
That's
can't
why
just
they did it.
randomly put in a friend code and
Yeah.
find someone.
They did it to protect children.
Who cares?
That's why.
Is that the real definition?
That's what they did.
For friend code.
Yeah.
So I can't play with people I meet on I played Super Smash Bros. Brawl online for a very little bit because I was tired of waiting half an hour to get into a fight and have people pick Sonic and cheat with the final smash. But anyway, you're about to say something, so I'm talking fast so you don't cut me off. I lost my shot.
One thing they announced for the Wii, and I thought this was kind of funny, for the Miiverse, is that in order to, you know how they want to protect the kids and all that, right?
Yeah.
The way they're going to do this Miiverse, they're going to have some people actually physically read every single thing posted and check for swear words.
Are you
Physically, people
serious?
physically do
Yeah,
it?
they're going to try to do this, and the first thing I thought when I heard that was that is not going to happen. That's just not
Yeah, they're
possible.
not. They're
It's
not
not
gonna pull that
possible
off at all.
That's what they said they're going to try to do.
It's
I was like, yeah, that's not going to work.
You're better off just having an AI just look for fuck damn shit.
Well,
Yeah.
they do that first, and then have someone read it.
Just in case someone wants to say cunt bucket or something.
or space out the words. I can't say. The,
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
to be
fuck,
fair,
so F.
Nintendo is right. The internet people are vile, horrible, filthy people.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we are.
But trying to monitor that is very, very
Stupid.
impractical.
Hard and dumb.
A
Yeah.
waste of time. Cause like,
But you're
if
getting
on
paid
live-
for it, so it's not a waste of time.
Yeah,
So-
that's stupid.
But it's not needed.
Yeah, it's not needed. Cause like,
So yeah, our opinion of Miiverse is pretty much universally why this is kind of stupid.
Kind of dumb.
Yeah,
no one's gonna
kinda
use
dumb.
it. My thing is the friend code that I know
this
there's
is ruins it.
it just ruins
Cause
it.
there are cool people on Nintendo.
There is, but you can't play with them like multiple times because of the damn friend code that.
And how you supposed to give your friend?
Yeah, you can't send them a message to ask for their friend code. What the fuck?
And the other thing they announced is that the Wii U will now support 2 of those touchscreen gamepads.
Oh
Right,
my
so
god,
two-player
it's
game.
2 players all snapped.
PS3.
But
Oh.
and also support Pro and all those
It's
other
crazy.
controllers.
It's like the GameCube had 4 players and now the Wii U has 2.
Dude, like you can play with your friend
It's
next
like-
to you.
Yeah,
now
it's
if I
2v-
want to play with you or Dylan or Brandon, we can play, but only like 2-on-2.
It's
Now,
like we never
to be
had
fair,
the
you are
Atari.
allowed to use other Wii controllers along with those 2 gamepads.
Wii controllers work too?
The Wii remotes?
Yes.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
So it's like the Atari all
Holy
over again.
Kind of like the Commodore 64.
Commodore 64 was one player.
Shut up right now. I do not like where this is going. But yeah,
Poop on your
so I think our reaction to that announcement is a renowned meh, right?
Yeah.
Meh.
Well, Nintendo's is
No,
it's
it's
just
meh.
you're just going.
And they announced
You're just there. At this
they
point.
announced a couple of ports to of other games on the
Mass
Wii
Effect
U,
3.
like Mass Effect 3
City.
and Batman Arkham City Armored Edition.
Yeah, which is dumb.
Same thing.
That's stupid.
You could just
They
change your
just,
armor.
why didn't they just put
You
Batman
can use
on?
the gamepad to control the Batarang in mid-flight.
Yeah, oh, another one.
Can I-
A
can I,
new
like-
experience of hacking.
Can I
Touch it.
throw the Wii U controller and have my Batarang go? I mean, it wouldn't go very far,
It's
nor
like a
would it turn
$200
ever.
controller.
No
Yeah,
would
like,
have hit
It wouldn't
anything
hit
and you would
anything.
not get it back.
Yeah, it would break on
$200
contact.
See, the thing is, I know people were always like, "Oh yeah, it's Mass Effect and it's Arkham City," but the thing is, by the time the Wii U comes out, those things will be a year old
It'll be
Yeah, old
obsolete.
news.
and
stuff.
completely obsolete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And it's like, are you really okay having obsolete and shitty ports on
And-
your Wii
and you
So
system?
you really shouldn't be working on.
Shitty.
And you can't
Remakes.
really say, oh, get these gaming classics, Mass Effect 3 and Batman Arkham Asylum.
And I won't name names, but someone
It's like
on
you call it
someone on
success.
Facebook really defended all those ports in the Wii, and I was like, yeah, no.
It's like, dude, you're wrong. Deal with
No, these are going to be old and stale by the time the Wii U comes
Yeah,
out.
there'd be new games by
Yeah.
then.
Like, no
Yeah.
offense, Arkham City is an amazing game, don't get me wrong, but it's old news at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Probably
been
a new
out for
one,
like
maybe.
5
Yeah.
months already and it's old news.
But like I said, it's an amazing game, but at this point, it's old news.
It is old news.
And it's going to be even older news when the Wii U comes out.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
a year for release.
Even older news. Doesn't get any older than that.
So yeah, they announced a couple of ports, Darksiders and whatnot, but that was already announced.
Right.
Yeah, that's been out for a
Okay,
while.
we
What do you think of New Super Mario Brothers U?
It's just gonna
You
be
see,
another
I
Super Mario
really,
Bros.
really like the new Super Mario Bros. For the DS Lite. Like, I bought it the same day I got my DS Lite. It's fucking, it kept me entertained so long. And when I finally, I looked up on the internet how to unlock Luigi. When I finally unlocked Luigi, I just played through and I figured out how to get through 1-1 without stopping, period, without complete run through in like 20 seconds. I really, that's one of my favorite portable games next to like Wario Land 4.
And we went to what was that?
Yeah.
Now,
My favorite portable game, Wario Land 4, New Super Mario Bros.
the gimmick for the Wii U version of New Super Mario Bros. Is that the person with the touchscreen is able to press the touchscreen and create platforms for the other people to jump on. That's their gimmick.
That's kind of cool. That's just something like, oh, by the way, you can do this. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, and I mean, it has
Now-
to depend on who you're playing with. Cause if you're playing with like a douchebag or something, be like,
Yeah,
oh, I
right.
land on this. No.
It's like, here,
No,
get
you
this.
can create them, but you
Cool
can't
build.
destroy them.
Oh, you
Like,
can't.
here, I want to jump here, create a platform. Okay. Why did you create a platform?
Oh.
Now,
Yeah, I know,
the, the cynic in me says, the cynic in me says, oh great, I get to finish your levels for you.
Yeah, right?
It's like, now that's kind of a bit of a pathetic thing to add to your game. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
It should be a main selling point. Let's just put it there.
Did you guys see Nintendo Land?
Nintendo Land? No, I haven't even heard of
It's
that.
the Wii Sports equivalent for Wii U.
Oh, there's
Another one.
another Wii U.
They
Next
announced
Sports Season 2.
they announced a game for it called Luigi's Mansion,
Okay, Luigi
and
man.
it's kind of like Pac-Man, except there's 4 players and 1 ghost. The ghost is also a 5th player, and what it is that the player who is the ghost uses the gamepad touchscreen, and they can see everything.
See, that's kind of cool, actually.
But the people who aren't the ghost can only see their own version of the screen that does not have the ghost on it. So
That's
the objective
kinda
is for the 4 players to figure out where the ghost is and to capture him
Oh, that's
before the ghost gets them all.
cool.
That's kinda
that's-
cool.
And that was interesting.
I could definitely get into that.
Yeah.
But part of me is like, oh great, you made a tech demo for your game. For your game console.
Definitely a tech demo. So we won't be able to play, just like Mario 128, right?
Mario 128.
And that is the problem I have with Nintendo, is that all of the things they do with their IPs are now essentially just tech demos. They're glorified tech demos.
Yeah, we'll probably get another game that plays just like that.
And that kind of
Yeah.
irritates me.
Like, you remember this game?
Like,
Well, now we have a better graphic
Yeah.
version. Or
Basically,
gameplay,
every
maybe
single
something.
game they've made in the past several years has been just a big tech demo.
Well, I'll take them.
At least in my eyes. Correct me if you think I'm wrong.
You're right. Yeah.
And that's the problem I have with Nintendo, is that they're great at being creative and adding to the gameplay, but they're not that creative per se.
There's so much like resources to make a really, really good game, but choose not to because they're just save the game.
They just want to make another Mario game.
And there's no one there to rein them in, and
They want to save the kids.
there's no one there to harness that creativity that's obviously there and put it into an amazing project. There's no one that does that.
That's because they're thinking of, okay, we could make like this new awesome game, or we can make the same amount of money by copy and pasting.
They're
Marios.
relying on their third parties to make the good games for them, which has just not happened for them.
because they don't support them.
All it makes is shovelware.
Someone got something.
You saw with the Wii, it's just loads and loads of
Yeah,
shovelware.
really cool. Like a Mario that's like a T with like violence. A little bit more violence.
And this is
That'd
why
be
I
kinda
dislike
cool.
modern Mario games.
Depends.
One last thing I wanted to make note of for the Nintendo press conference is that, what do you think of them not announcing a price or release date for the Wii?
Yeah.
That just
Well,
tells
did they
me.
release a price?
That
like
just tells me
$250?
that the Wii U
They didn't
will
release
be
the price,
coming
no,
out
that
for
was-
a very long
Or is
time.
that like an estimate?
That was
Yeah.
3DS.
Yeah, that
No.
just tells me that it
They
won't
just
be out
released-
for a long time.
Because usually,
They
like,
just released one that said like it was gonna be range from 250 to
No, they
300.
did not.
Because like the Vita.
But that's probably what it's going to be.
I would have. It would have
Vita
made the
last year,
news
they
if they
announced it
announced the
and
price for
announced
Wii
I
the
U.
could
price.
have sworn I
Yeah,
read that on
that's-
But that was a
IGN.
couple months before it came out. No,
No,
what am I talking
no.
about? That was
last E3.
E3.
It
so-
came out this year.
Yeah, you're right.
So does the fact that it hasn't been announced a price yet, does that scare any of you?
No, it just lets me know that it's not
Yeah.
coming out for a while.
That might not come
Don't
out
get
till like
overexcited.
230.
They
Yeah,
announced
yeah,
that they announced that it was going to be released sometime this holiday.
So don't get too excited.
Wait,
So
what?
we'll probably have it like Christmas.
They announced
Wait, the
it was
Wii
going
U
to be.
was coming out this holiday?
They
Are you
said
sure?
I was pretty sure I heard holiday.
So it's gonna be like
Maybe next
Christmas.
I can't.
They didn't
Well,
have
usually,
a specific date, but they said holiday.
Usually
of
they
this
do
year.
make holidays like November.
Really?
They
Usually
always
they
do.
say how.
How do you feel about not
The
having
consoles always
having
be
no
so-
price
so-
announced with
so-
that information in mind?
I don't know.
PS3 to Wii.
I don't know.
Just because Christmas is coming.
So I tell you what,
Then
you
got Black Friday to buy it.
if I was a Nintendo fan, I'd be
Give
nervous
it
at
that.
that point because
I mean, I'm not a Nintendo fan. so-
Nin-
Not like a Nintendo.
I mean, because
like,
Nintendo is not known for selling their products at a loss. They profit from each sale of each console they make, and that gamepad, I don't know about you, but that looks expensive to me.
It does.
Looks expensive to produce and to
Well,
develop.
let's just say the Wii U comes out $250. So like that gamepad right there is $100 right there. Like if we bought the Wii U without the gamepad, it'd be like split in half.
Easily $100 for that pad.
Yeah, easily,
Yeah, because that
definitely.
looks expensive.
I'm not going to start getting excited for the Wii U until I see anything on the new Super Smash.
Well, they
Bros.
just started working on it end of March
Until I see it.
because
so I
they're
don't like
working
this-
on Kid Icarus.
I don't care about Kid Icarus at all.
I'm just saying
Same
that's
company.
yeah, same company.
Nintendo, man.
It's a side.
All right.
Second one,
Side.
yeah.
How? It's like
Oh.
Hal. It's Hal. That's what it is. Hal.
That's what the work on Super Smash? Oh.
Yes.
It just occurred to me, we haven't actually
Still
rated all the other.
Oh.
Aside from Microsoft, we haven't actually rated any of the other people that we talked about.
Well,
so,
we
real quickly, what do we think of EA?
Well, no, we gotta get Sony. We have to have Sony.
But we
No,
haven't
no, no.
done Sony.
Yeah, we have.
No, not yet. That's
EA,
next.
I'm in the middle. But EA.
What about Ubisoft?
think
I was
so.
I was
yeah.
pleasant. I was pleasantly surprised by
I
comments. I
give
enjoyed
it a
it.
thumbs up on that
It
one.
wasn't funny, but I enjoyed it.
I'm not an Assassin's Creed fan, so that's still a side.
And what are we gonna say about Nintendo?
Just
I think
I give it a middle.
I give it a middle on the verge of going downwards.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
it might not be.
average.
Yeah.
So now we can move on to Sony.
Yeah, let's move
Our,
on.
the last press conference, then we'll get the miscellaneous crap we want to talk about
The
E3.
book.
Yeah, the book. Let's.
We can go over.
Good.
I know podcasts take 2 hours long.
What are you doing?
I know podcasts that take 2 hours long.
Okay,
The
but
book.
Dylan is over here rolling his shirt up for reasons unbeknownst to me.
Tell Logic is taking over.
Well,
Spreads about
Dylan's 6 years old. Let him have his fun.
Oh, false type of dick. You get it?
So the first thing I have on my list for Sony is PlayStation All Stars.
Yes!
Yes.
Fucking
Let's talk about
Four
it.
I am
characters.
so excited for that
Four
one.
characters.
Crash Bandicoot better have his ass in that game. I don't care. I don't care what incarnation of him. He better be in that
So
game.
you won't care
I'm
about
telling
like, the
you,
brand new
I do
version where he
not
wears
care.
a pink flower shirt and he.
I'm
I
telling
don't
you,
care. In
plants.
fact, I would what?
he made that up.
Oh.
I made it up, obviously. I'm just saying that.
I'm telling you, Crash is not going to be on
He
there.
better be on there.
Because
or-
Universal owns him.
so
They don't own Snake.
Universal doesn't give up its properties.
it doesn't matter. I'm
It-
keeping hope. You
it's-
pessimistic motherfucker.
It's infamously known.
So,
like, I mean,
They
still.
recently announced Nathan Drake and
And-
Bioshock's Big Daddy
Big
on
Daddy.
their roster.
Which
They don't own Big Daddy.
They don't own Big Daddy neither.
2K.
But 2K is pretty generous when it comes to its
2K.
property.
You said 2K.
2K.
Gay.
But 2K is
2K, yeah.
But
I
2K is known to be pretty
Hold on,
generous with its
before we
properties.
go on, I want to talk about this PlayStation All Stars a little bit more. I'm
We
from
were
seeing.
moving on.
We were moving
Oh,
on.
I'm talking about- he was on a new character.
We were even close to moving on.
He was on a new character. I'm talking about how gameplay was.
Okay.
I can already see a lot of the characters being severely broken.
There's,
Like,
Sweet Tooth looks broken.
I'm gonna preface in saying these two are
And
fighting
Big-
game fans. I'm just gonna let them talk.
me
and Big
Dylan-
Daddy,
Yeah,
he-
Brandon doesn't understand broken.
Big Daddy would be
Character.
nothing against the guy from Killzone.
For the newbie,
Yeah.
fighting game fan, tell me why you think Sweet Tooth is overpowered.
He's all
Yeah, it's all of his moves.
Sweet Tooth is
a
overpowered
shotgun.
because one, he's got a shotgun that
fun.
is 100% safe, sends you all the way across
Yeah.
there, and since there's no block mechanic,
Yeah,
what the fuck can you do?
I mean, to be fair, I didn't see that because while that was going on, I was tweeting.
and he
Yeah,
can
we
like
know.
pump it like.
Yeah, and he could do it
Like,
multiple
look.
times. He does massive damage, and his special
But he
killed
lost-
all three people in one
And
shot.
like
But
kill
he
all
lost-
three
And hit their
people
weak points
several
for massive
times.
damage.
But he lost the Fat Princess.
But he did
Yeah, that's
lose
true.
to Fat Princess. But I think that's because
But I mean, he came in second
he
place
came in second
because
place.
of that.
But I think they might fix it out.
But Sweet Tooth
It's still
definitely.
early.
I mean,
just
there
saying,
is still
yeah.
time to adjust.
Yeah.
But
There
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
what I'm saying.
They
I'm
probably
just
get like
saying.
reviews like, "Whoa, he's
I'm just
broken."
saying, Sweet Tooth look incredibly broke, and Crash Bandicoot should be in this game.
Now we can
Are
go.
my thoughts on?
another thing that the Sony recently announced was that some games that were on the PS3 and the PS Vita will have cross-platform play.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool,
I don't
but
see
that's
the
all you can.
reason.
That's all you can really say
If
about it. so
I'm
it's pretty
being
cool.
perfectly honest, I didn't really care that much.
I mean,
Yeah.
because
that's
that
an
one, you don't even have a Vita. and
I
two-
plan to get it
Yeah.
eventually once the price drops. I do
Yeah.
plan to get it.
I mean, I guess that would be a big deal. I mean, only
For
thing-
me, it's the fact you have to buy the game twice to even notice that.
Well, I'm going to. I bought Street Fighter X Tekken for PlayStation 3. I totally plan to get it for Vita.
I know
Yeah,
that
it
should
makes
do
sense
that.
'cause
I'm going to get All Stars for the PlayStation 3. I'm definitely getting it for the Vita. So, but I don't understand why I would need to do that.
I mean, maybe
Me
you go to
either.
a friend's house and you. Oh, wait,
But
no,
to be
you
fair,
can't.
they announced you
Yes.
can do it through Wi-Fi. You can do it through the internet too.
Oh, you
So
can-
you don't,
So
need,
I didn't
you
quite
don't have to be in
understand.
the same physical location.
Do you use the Vita? Can you use that as like a controller as well?
Yeah.
Like, say you
Or like
only
a
got like one
screen,
controller,
like-
I could use this.
You don't even have to be in the
instead.
same location. You can play it with someone else on your Vita through the internet,
Yeah.
anywhere in the
But
world.
that's pretty cool. But I don't care.
So it's basic. So
I mean,
basically, you
it's
could
there,
you could
it's
very well
there.
use it as a controller
It's
The-
just
the
just
only-
by being in the room.
The only time I ever play my Vita at all is either when I'm either on a long trip, but most of the time I'm the one driving, or when I'm taking a shit. And I don't plan on playing online when taking shit because I won't be fully focused.
So we're not we're kind of a meh on cross-platform.
It's just, it's just there to do if you want.
I mean, it's a nice feature, but
Definitely
that's
a
all
nice
it is.
feature.
Yeah.
It's definitely a bonus.
It's a bonus. Yeah, it's a good bonus.
Yeah.
Next thing I want to talk about is David Cage's new game, Beyond Two Souls.
That looks pretty cool.
It looks okay.
What do you think of what we saw so far?
I don't like Ellen Page.
Well, yeah, definitely, but...
Well, I've already... I can't stand Ellen Page.
That's pretty interesting, because among us, I agree with you, but we're in the minority on that one.
A lot of
Yeah.
people like her.
A lot of people like her.
But...
I don't.
I think the only
And I'm willing to
should
give it a
is
pass,
Assassin's
because you have to do
Creed.
both, because that's both the motion capture and the voice, which does, and perhaps that's also part of David Cage's art direction for her, is just be kind of soulless in that scene. So I'm willing to give her a pass, because that might just be the fact that the scene we saw was just not very good.
It could just be that, but I just don't like her face. And it could just because I have a personal thing against her. The way she portrayed Shadowcat in X-Men 3.
That might also be part of it.
Yeah, it's
I
more of a
love
personal
Shadowcat as a
feel.
character, and the way she used her powers was tight, but in X-Men 3, she was this fucking wimpy bitch who didn't know how to do anything but drag Juggernaut into a floor.
The thing is, about Beyond, I'm actually somewhat nervous about it because I played Heavy Rain. I did enjoy Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain's plot did very much suck, though.
Yeah, like, I was not a big fan of Heavy Rain. I think it got very repetitive.
I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was.
But the girl was naked a lot.
In, like, the very
Once.
beginning.
Twice, if you choose to. And I
Oh,
did.
you mean the sex scene?
Oh, 3 times. No, in the beginning with the shower scene, the sex scene, and the scene where you have to strip for the guy to get him to talk. That's right. I got completely naked and then hit his ass with a lamp.
You could get stripped in that scene?
Yeah, you can get completely naked and then hit with a lamp. You could have hit him with the lamp.
I just
a
faked
lot.
orgasm and beat him with the lamp.
No, I just hit him with the lamp. I got fully naked and then when he was like, "Come here," I was like, "Boom!" When I could have hit him with the lamp before I even.
I
got
don't think I
dressed.
ever stripped in that scene. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can get completely naked.
I've never sat down and played that game, like,
Yeah,
for a long
completely
period of
Like I
time.
said, I liked the game for what it was, but it was very poorly written. And David Cage wrote that as well. So part of me is thinking, is he going to have a same plot hole ridden mess with Beyond that he did with Heavy Rain?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Because I mean, he also wrote Fahrenheit or Your Prophecy, depending on what region you're in. And that was pretty lackluster as well, from what I hear. I never actually played. I never played it, but from what I've been told about it, it involves a zombie fucking a human chick.
That's a
In
problem.
Britain, have zombie hits.
Yeah, half zombie, half human.
Save the world.
And
Half human, half zombie.
and then there's psychic bullshit that happened and no one cared about it.
What, Indigo Plateau?
Into Your Prophecy.
Indigo Plateau
Oh.
from Pokemon.
Your logic. Alright.
So yeah, I'm nervous about what David
Yeah,
Cage is
half
going
of
to do. I'm not. I will probably get it.
Dude.
I'll get it when it comes out, probably just to
Yeah,
just to
half of it.
support different types of games. But I'm nervous about how good his writing's going to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they said the game was gonna have more action and less opening doors.
Yeah, like, push your button rapidly to open the
You mean,
cabinet shower.
you mean this game gonna have actual gameplay part of it?
That's what they promised.
Wow.
That's what they said. Like,
I
really.
think the most hype part of the whole Heavy Rain thing was when you're driving
Driving,
the opposite
yes!
direction on the highway.
Actually, I think the cutting your finger off section was more hype.
That was pretty crazy. That was I'm talking about just like action wise. Like it's definitely a psychological thing when you're chopping your fucking finger off.
I
was
love
like,
that
I'll
scene.
do anything for my kids. Boom. I didn't
That
even
was a
hesitate.
well-written scene.
Didn't even hesitate. I was like, I'll do anything for my kids. Bam! Right off. I mean, I do that shit in real life.
I mean, that was I enjoyed that scene. That was a very well-written
When
scene.
he cut off his pinky,
Yeah.
I thought you were
And
saying.
then the next scene he's in, he
And
gets
depending
fucked by a
on-
lady.
Depending on how you do it, that could have been incredibly
Would you
painful,
chop
much
your
more
dick
than it
off
had
to
to
save your
be.
son?
Huh?
Would you chop your wiener off?
Of course. We're not getting into my psychological feelings towards my
Anyway,
offspring.
moving on. I think we talked enough about this subject. Let's go on to the Assassin's Creed Vita game.
alright, I don't like
You know,
it.
black chick, Louisiana.
Okay, I don't care that it's a black chick. Or it's in fucking Louisiana.
Fine.
It looks incredibly boring. She could be some Japanese dude, for all I care about. Some cliche Japanese dude. I don't care.
Oh,
The
that makes
game looks boring.
Yeah, it's not bringing anything
To
new.
be
It's
fair,
the
we
same
didn't
game.
actually see any of it.
I saw gameplay of it.
They had
I saw
gameplay, and it was boring.
We saw a couple seconds of gameplay.
It was
They have
boring.
gameplay
Those couple of
video.
seconds were very boring 5 seconds of gameplay.
Like,
And
yeah.
to be fair, marketers are pretty shitty at their jobs.
Who's
But
that?
still,
Marketers.
Oh, marketers.
People who make trailers for a living are pretty shitty at their jobs.
But still,
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless they're Square Enix.
Some trailers are really good, but no.
Some, not many.
it just didn't look that good. Like, I mean, it
It's
looked like
boring.
I will say
the
that
name sounds stupid.
I will say that I
Right.
actually appreciate a black to fully clothed female protagonist.
I mean, me as a pervert, I wish she was a lot less clothed.
that's because you're a dirty
just because
perv.
I'm a dirty perv. And
Dirty Bird.
But since I actually care about
Dirty perv.
characterization and good characters in
That's true.
games,
Well, I play fighting games. I'm used to girls being half dressed.
Jiggle.
to be fair, fighting games are really, really bad about that.
Okay, and I don't care. I love the fact that Melina's not
I
wearing
hate that
anything.
part about fighting games.
I love that part.
I hate that part about the fighting game culture as a whole.
I
truth
love
be
the
told.
fact that Cammy's trying to come off as this uptight, polite little girl, but is still wearing a full body thong with her ass hanging out.
That provides dissonance to me.
And every time, like,
You really
as soon as she's
respect
on
those?
screen, the first shot is always her ass. And I love it so much.
You would love Miranda from Mass Effect then.
Who's Miranda?
You don't want to know.
She got an ass.
Oh, okay.
Alright, we
And
She is
She's
genetically
wild.
engineered to be the most perfect way to piss me off.
Cause she's sexy.
Moving on, let's talk about Wonder Book.
Oh.
That was good.
Okay.
Wonder Book, next one.
Wonder Book. Yeah, Wonder Book. Okay, so next thing is...
Let's talk about God of War.
Okay.
No, let's seriously talk about Wonder Book for a
Alright, we're
second.
on Wonder Book. Before we even start Wonder Book, I want to let everyone know that if we didn't have the 10 minutes of stupid-ass Wonder Book, we would have had news on 25 new Vita games.
PlayStation Music.
We would have had news on those, but instead we got, let's fake open this book. Let's fake read this book.
But I
Oh,
mean,
shit, fake everything.
I would
Let's
also like to
fake
hear.
talk
I would also like to
about-
know your source on that one, though. Just to be perfectly clear.
Oh, just the YouTube thing that follows that kind of shit called Hard News. That's what they do. They do
Alright.
that kind of shit. I get news from
And
them.
now, now that we've discussed the kind of and I will agree that 10 minutes for Wonder Book was way
It was
too
way.
long. That was almost physically painful to watch.
It
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh my god, change.
Not as bad as the Twilight movie, but getting there.
Yeah. Almost.
Like I've actually watched the Twilight movie. Anyway, let's talk about the actual features of the
Okay,
Wonder
let's
Book.
talk about the features.
What do you think of a book that comes alive on screen?
Alright, here.
dead.
Let me.
Okay, Dill, go
When
first.
do you like a book in a game? When do you want to? Oh, I think I'll sit down and read a book. Like, when are you thinking of that in a video game?
See, the first thing I thought was, yo, dog, so I heard you like games. So I put a book in your game so you can read while you play.
Okay.
That's basically really good, Brad.
Yeah, okay.
That's basically what it is. With
It is, that's
dragons.
exactly what it is.
And your turn.
What do you think about J.K. Rowling writing a book
Stupid.
for
It's
a
just
Wonder
Bible
Book?
I don't care. I
It's
don't-
another book.
One, I don't
just-
care for Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter compared to Twilight.
Yeah, I mean
But-
that's like.
To be fair, I'm a Harry Potter fan, even I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
That's just stupid.
I just, if I want to read, I'll read a book.
Yeah.
Like,
I
what
wouldn't
the
really
fuck?
But don't you want to know what happens when you use the fire making spell?
No, I don't care about making
Who's
fire.
Yeah,
The fire making spell makes fire. Does that not surprise you?
I didn't know that.
I never thought.
Hey, did you guys know the fire sword's made out of fire too?
What?
Huh?
I'm out.
Seriously?
I didn't know
Life
that.
doesn't make sense.
Like, I swear I didn't know that.
That doesn't make any sense. That's illogical.
It is.
What are you doing?
My cup dropped.
That's a lot of effort to grab a cup. Anyway, I actually had something to say, and
Fire.
it's
Fire sword.
it's good. It's decent for
It's a
something
minigame collection.
off to the side. Keep it off to the side. Oh, by the way, there's this thing here. Check out this book thing. This is pretty cool. Okay, that's
You
fine.
could check
Yeah.
it
But
at
do not waste 10 minutes of my
I
life.
just said that. You
That
could check
would
more
that
than
should have been
fine.
5 minutes at the most.
That shouldn't have been even.
At the most. Preferably less than that.
preferably
Yeah, like I
not
agree with what you
existent.
said. Maybe like a couple minutes. Oh, we're also adding this book to.
Yeah, like it's a kind of a cool thing. Like I think we would be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Had it not taken up
My
10
i-
minutes of shit, we would
My ideal would have
It
been a
would've
2-3 minute
obviously, like,
video
better.
montage. A 2-3 minute montage.
would have been cool.
And doesn't it use PlayStation Eye
Yeah,
No.
I home.
Yeah.
and
The
move,
move.
right?
Yeah, and even the people playing the fucking game
They
look
look
That
bored.
shit, yeah, the Chinese woman looked
The Chinese woman was,
totally.
she was
like-
like, what is this? This is
No, she was thinking, this is my paycheck for the day.
this is how I live.
This is what I'm
Anyway,
going to get
so-
paid for today.
I think when I look at the Wonder Book, I think, wow, for once it would actually suck to be a game tester.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for one.
It would suck to win season 3 of the tester.
It would.
Of course, that season sucked. Moving on. let's talk about. I have 2 more games on the list for Sony, then we'll move on to general stuff. First one we'll talk about is God of War Ascension.
Oh man, we just gotta learn more about it.
I got mixed feelings. Yeah, I don't know the story.
Actually, I saw the
You
real
can ask.
graphics.
You can ask.
I saw a G4 coverage on that. The story takes place right after Kratos gets his powers. Like right after.
Right after.
Right after Kratos becomes
Then
Ares.
there's
Oh,
a-
right. The first game starts with him already gotten his powers and he's on a boat.
Wasn't it like?
Remember that? Like he already
Oh, yeah,
had his
like
powers and he was on the boat
So does that
trying to get his revenge.
does that allay some of the
But then
worries
the
you had?
teaser.
No, that does. No,
so
it does.
hopefully at the end of this, he'll be getting on the boat to fight the Hive.
Yeah, by the end he'll be getting on the boat to fight the Hydra.
Maybe yeah.
I forgot entirely.
So, yeah, the game takes place.
I forgot he already worked for Ares. He was on the road to
No,
revenge.
Yeah.
It's also before the prequels, the other prequels to the PSP.
But, like,
So
one
it's
thing I
before
didn't-
that, those 2 as well.
But like the other thing I don't like didn't make sense.
Okay,
is-
I get it. Right after he gets his powers, and God of War 1, he already has his powers.
He's already got the blades.
He already worked for Ares.
Ares, yeah.
But now he's on his road. That's where we first see him on his road to
maybe this one might be
revenge
dark.
against
Maybe
Ares.
this one might be a little bit dark too.
It
Like
could be.
him.
He's already got his powers. He's kind of skinny because he hasn't
Like,
But-
he hasn't been through shit yet.
He hasn't butchered a lot of people yet.
Yeah,
Oh,
he just.
He's not as many people.
So this is right after the barbarian fight.
yeah, just
Right,
right after.
right after that. So he's now following Ares' orders here.
Does that make you feel a little better?
Actually, it does. And I'm now kind of excited for
But
it.
Yeah.
one thing that like kind of like got me confused is the teaser trailer before he was a god.
Yeah, it says
That
before,
kind of like mixed us up.
no, before he was a god. Remember, end of God of War,
Ah.
the first one, he was made into a god.
Yeah, so I mean, before he was a guy, could have taken place anywhere between
Yeah.
one, like anywhere.
Yeah, before he was
One.
a god was between
One.
anything before
Or
one and
two.
the end of.
And also,
Yeah.
side note about the graphics that you say made look dumb. I actually saw the real one. It looks just
good.
like
Okay.
God of War.
No,
He just
it
looks
doesn't
he just
look
looks
just
he
like
looks
God of War
skinny.
3.
Yeah.
They
That could just
definitely down the
because-
graphics.
He looks
No, it
faster.
looks
He does look.
It
He
doesn't.
could be
Yeah,
faster
it does.
because he's
It does.
It looks
skinnier.
different. It looks a little bit not as heavy.
No, I saw the real graphics.
And when it comes to the
I mean, you look at
multiplayer,
gameplay, you
I don't
see
care what
it.
anyone says. I am excited for this
No.
multiplayer.
So I
versus
agree.
four.
I'm gonna be
Damn.
honest. I don't really like the God of War games, so I'm not the best person to talk to you about that.
You
But I
wanna see
find
kids getting
them, I
killed.
find them all too samey.
Understandable.
I find all the God of War games. I thought after the plot of 1 was fantastic, 2 and 3 kind of sucked.
2 was okay.
It changed the
Two-
powers mode.
2 was
No, it
good. I
totally
like
did.
2.
Like God of War was
Like-
a life changer.
2 and 3's plot was not good in my
I
opinion.
wasn't the biggest
It
fan.
was epic, but not good.
I like 3's plot, but I think they could have added a lot more instead of a
Oh,
big
A
labyrinth.
lot more.
I love
depth.
the Pandora's box
Yeah.
reveal at the end of 3 was kind of bullshit. I'm not gonna lie.
I love how like all 3 was just pop.
At that point, I was tired of Pandora's box.
Yeah, Pandora.
Like Pandora was being thrown.
And that
out
was
there.
the huge part of the story.
3 just killing the
Yeah.
gods.
Well,
no ridiculous.
I don't
nonsense.
understand. I mean, I know they made a note of it in God of War 3, but there truly should have been nothing in that box because Kratos used it in the first game
Yeah, he opened
to
it.
get
He
what
opened it to get big.
it gets
to fight
it
Ares.
gives you what you need, and what he needed to be was giant
Mhm.
to fight
Yeah.
Ares. That like whatever's inside Pandora's box is what that person truly needs at that moment. And at that moment in the first game, Kratos needed to be giant. He had the skills.
He needs the power of a god.
Yeah, he needed the power of a god. He had the skills to do it. He just needed the strength to do it.
Yeah, because you can't be
You
that.
need to be
He can't
able
be
to
that
go
small and beat
period. Yeah.
Ares, so he just
Well,
needed the
no matter
giant.
how
He needed that
strong you are.
sword. And then I guess opening Pandora's box in the third one gave him what he needed was hope. I mean, it makes
He
sense.
already had hope, is what they said. The hope was already taken out of the box, and he already had it by the time the third game came out.
Wasn't
The
it
whole
like
thing was just about him
he
forgiving
had it
himself.
when he first used
Yeah,
it?
he had it when he first
First
beat
used-
Ares. That was the
First beat
twist.
Ares, that was
And I hate, like I say, I hated the plot in 2 and 3. I thought it was kind of
I
stupid.
like how you get like closure with his family.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with
Forgive
stupid
him.
stuff.
Start
There is,
regretting what he did.
Yeah, he
And-
started forgiving himself, and then he's piece of shit.
I mean, I get it. It's okay.
I mean, God of War 1 was one man's epic quest for atonement and realization of what he's supposed to do in his life.
Right.
2 and 3 was some dick faffing about for a couple hours.
No, actually, I don't really remember the plot for God of War 2.
It was him going back in time, because remember Zeus
to change
picked
his
him up,
fate.
Right, okay.
Because Zeus
okay.
killed him.
No, 2 and 3 was a mean jackass faffing about for a couple hours.
No, because like Zeus like stabbed him like used
I
the
wouldn't
blade
go
of Olympus
that
to
far.
I would go that
I
far.
would say that, but-
it was a pure,
revenge.
down to the bones revenge story.
Because he was using the
But
blade
there
of
was-
Olympus to destroy
And there
the
was revenge in the
road.
first one. There was
Yeah.
much more to him than
Then he got
revenge
picked
in the
over,
first
yeah.
game.
And of course,
There was
Boyz II Men
also-
Revenge.
Yeah, definitely.
There was also sadness and atonement in his character too. He was doing more than just getting revenge. He was trying to atone for what he did in the past.
Even though
Right.
that you're
No,
like,
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It came from a redemption
And
story
there's much
to a
more-
revenge story.
And there's much more interesting stuff you can do in the first game. There's much more that was done. 2 and 3 did not do much with that.
It
That's
just
the
took
problem
the
with revenge story. Once a revenge story, it's pretty linear and you can't do much with it.
Mhm.
But
And the
Still
fact,
good.
I get it. It's still a decent story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like
kind
the
of.
gameplay saved it.
I don't like how God of War 3 was so short.
Definitely. Yeah.
They took away the puzzles, but you know.
Alright, I didn't like the puzzle. I hated puzzle. I hate
did
being
anyone
stuck.
actually like the puzzle
I
in the
hated
God of War
being stuck.
franchise?
I never liked the puzzle.
They took forever.
Like they say, oh, use a puzzle to break up the action. Do something else to break up the action. I'm tired of puzzles.
I'm okay with the story cutscene breaking up the action.
Do something like Ghost of Sparta did.
Mm.
Like action, and then the one scene, which is considered one of the most touching scenes in a video game, where he actually dies and goes to Elysium instead of usually Hades.
You mean
Yeah.
Chain to Olympus?
Wait, Chains of Olympus, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And he actually goes to Elysium and he actually reconciles with his daughter and they're like hugging and shit. And he's actually happy.
Yes, I
And
love
then
that
in order
one.
to get out and actually save the world, he's got to like just totally reject her.
Yeah.
And,
So he's
and the whole like pushing a button
That's
is him,
interesting.
is him pushing her away when he doesn't want to at all. But
Oh my
he's
god,
forcing
that
himself
is
to.
interesting.
And remember,
I was
and then
like,
he has
wow,
to like, kill the ghost.
It's like I
and,
actually don't want to do this,
Yeah.
but I've got to
Got
save
to.
the world.
and
I
that
might
was
have actually
Yeah.
changed my opinion of the series. That's actually a very
That was-
interesting to
yes,
do.
that was like,
touching.
wow.
I was like,
It's
what?
either
I'll be
His
fair, the
son dies,
moments where
Yeah.
Kratos thought about his family during
Yeah.
God of War 3,
Yeah.
those were interesting
When
moments.
Kratos' family is brought up, it's a
When Kratos
It's
is
always-
deep
yeah,
when
deep.
Kratos is being more than a faffing about dick, it's very interesting.
It's either the
But
assassin dies
honestly,
or
I
the
think
assassin
you're looking
dies
at
or one
Kratos
dies.
yeah, something.
just
yeah,
a
right?
revenge happy god. Like, oh, I'm gonna kill everyone to get my revenge.
He is a revenge happy guy.
That's actually how God of War 3 was, though.
Yeah,
All he
definitely.
wanted was revenge. He was just killing
But
everyone.
before that, I mean, he
Every
was
guy.
he was hard on the outside, but he's still
And
like,
Aphrodite, he just fucked the shit out of her.
And in the part where he's talking about his family, where he's thinking about his past relationships, those are all very interesting. But God of War 2 and 3 was not about that in the least bit.
Yeah,
Well, the
I
ending
don't
of
think
three.
God of War 2 actually brought up his family at all.
no, I don't think so.
3 and the ending it did.
Three
And,
at
God
the
of,
ending,
and
but-
3 brought up, but not nearly enough in my opinion.
Well, 3 when Pandora, like the girl itself, how she reminded him of his daughter,
daughter.
so he wanted to protect. That was pretty deep.
That was touching.
Where he had trouble letting her die to unleash Pandora's box because he looked a lot like
They got really
He
good.
not that it looked a lot like it reminded him.
him. Of
Because
her.
it's like losing your daughter for a second time.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
don't wanna go. That was pretty like tough to do. And then once again, there's a cutscene where instead of like we push a button to make him like do something, you push a button again to let go of her.
Yeah,
instead
like I
of,
said, that's an
pull her.
incredibly touching
I was
scene.
like, yeah, there can be parts.
That's
where-
using gameplay to tell a story in a very, very unique and interesting way. And I am always in support of
But
that.
remember, God of War is not
and we're-
so lovely. It's more of a getting.
But I think they actually will take notes of what people said about God of War 3, and I think there will be a very pretty good story because they actually have a ton to work with this time.
Mhm.
They got a ton to work with, in this.
This is where the death of his family is very recent.
Oh, his
Yeah.
parents
Yeah,
killed in
very
this one.
recent.
Yeah.
His family gonna get.
No, they're gonna get killed.
No, then they got killed.
No, they didn't get killed
No,
yet.
yeah,
He didn't kill until he got his powers from
Before
Harry.
God of War 1.
So if this is right
That
now,
might be
No,
the-
you're wrong.
that
you're
might be the
wrong.
final
I'm not wrong.
Yo, you're wrong.
No,
Remember,
he's
he
actually
killed
correct.
them before.
I'm right. No, he killed him afterwards.
No,
No, he was in the war. He begged
No, but
Ares
this is
for
what I'm
help.
talking about. Remember, he killed his
He killed
like,
his
he killed the
after.
family and then he turned white. He's already white in the in
Yeah,
the
but he got his
demo.
power before he turned white.
Yeah,
But he was
Yeah.
already white
He's
in the
white
demo.
as-
Oh yeah,
Oh, then
yeah.
I don't understand now. Because he didn't kill his family until maybe that was like in the middle of the game.
That's the only
Maybe.
thing I can feel. Maybe he
Maybe that's
killed him
halfway
in the
through the game.
beginning.
Yeah, maybe that was like in the middle.
Yeah, we haven't seen the beginning because the demo's almost halfway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
But yeah, and to be fair, I am being kind of harsh on God of War, but I feel it kind of deserves that harshness.
It's cool, but they've got a lot of potential. They can do a shitload with this.
And I am harsh.
Because-
And I am harsh on things I like too, like Mass Effect. I like that franchise, but I am very harsh on it.
So
as
much
you know.
story and Greek mythology you
They
can
can
do
do
with it.
so much shit. I mean, I know Kratos is a made-up character for the most part, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
he seems so real.
yeah.
So let's move on to the last
They
game in
should
our
add
Sony discussion, The Last of Us.
It looks cool. Normally, like, I'm like a hardcore fighting game fan, and for me to go out of my own genre, the game's gotta be, something special. Or, like, a game that I've played in the past, like Dead Rising or Resident Evil or something. But for a new game to come out, and for me to actually buy it, it's gotta have something there, and Last of Us looks cool, and it looks like it's doing a lot of shit right, but it is not catching my eye
What I like
in a way that makes me want to buy it first day.
What I liked about it is that I am probably gonna end up getting it first day. I'm not gonna lie, unless something really bad happens.
Midnight release.
We can go to midnight release, but
I'm not going to midnight release. I'm never going to midnight release.
Never go to midnight. Let's go to bed at like 9 o'clock.
Come on, that's a good experience.
But they're doing some really interesting stuff. Like it's very survivalist like, and I love survival elements in games. I like being able to take care of myself.
Yeah,
I like how the AI works.
I know people.
The AI seems a little lot better.
The work.
Like right when you have like no ammo, you click it, he hears it.
And oh my god, the moment that they told me that was not a scripted sequence that occurred on that thing, I was floored.
Yeah, it
like when that all that shit happened in real time.
Really?
That was actually a very cool thing.
Wait, which one? When she threw the brick?
The whole sequence was real time, from start to finish.
You mean when she knifed them 2,000
That was also real time.
Are you
like he
serious?
could have died if she didn't find the knife in time or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because if his health was a little bit lower, it would have choked him to death.
Well, if you mean that, like, that could mean also that's a lot based on luck. I mean, there's gotta be something he might have been able to get out of it.
There is partially luck in a survival game.
Yeah. And survival period is about luck too.
But I mean, there had to be like some way he could get out of it, even if.
I also like that it's possible you don't actually have to fight them. He could have very well just stealthed his way through that.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have gotten the resources you would have gotten by looting their corpses.
I think they just wanted to show the action.
You can just stealth through that sequence.
And maybe like also another question I have about the AI: if they die, if the girl dies, you'll have to restart, right?
Yeah, because she's a vital NPC.
Yeah.
And a story element too.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really helpful. Like that one scene when she was like, "Hey, asshole!" Turns around, throws a brick, hits him right in the face, and then Joel comes on the way.
I mean, the way they're doing the AI is very, very impressive.
Dude, when it comes to survival games, I like being able to play it how I would play, do in a survival thing. Like I bought Dead Island because one, I thought I would be able to survive how I would survive, but turns out it's.
No, I am very critical of Dead Island, and you know
but
that.
That's not what happened. I thought that's what I would be able to do, but. Turns out it's just a first person.
It's an RPG.
It's okay, yeah.
It's an RPG.
It's Fallout with zombies. But anyway, so if this game shows that I could do shit my way, I might give it a look.
Yeah, hopefully they show more gameplay and more about the gameplay itself. Like, can you do this in this way, a different way?
To be fair, the zombies are much minor. There are zombies, finger quotes, in it, but the more emphasis is on. The danger is not the zombies in the world. In the real life, the dangers would be the other survivors.
And that's true too.
Yeah, that's true.
Zombies are not the
raiders.
Guys.
Like in Fallout, there are quote unquote zombies.
Yeah, ghouls.
But because it's a post-apocalypse. But the dangers aren't the zombies. It's the other people that are around you.
Yeah, I mean
the raiding camps.
People who need to live. Also, yeah.
Yeah, it'll give you more types of enemies. You know, you can
Definitely.
face more that, and then
So I'm actually quite interested in The Last of Us. So far, I was very, very skeptical at first. Like, another zombie game, I don't really care. But the more I learn about it, the more interested I am in it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right.
Most likely it's going to come out next year, the first quarter.
So, do you have anything else to say about Last of Us?
I think
I got.
So that ends our Sony segment. Yeah. Overall, what do we think of Sony?
I like Sony.
I would give it a thumbs up.
Set the story.
Z3.
I'll give a thumbs up for its for the Battle Royale and God of War.
Gowie.
Because now that I know where the story is actually taking place,
I was confused about that.
It makes more sense, and now I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do next is that we're gonna go down the road. We're each gonna rank the 3 press conferences from 1 to 5. Best 1 is best, 5 is worst.
Okay.
So we'll start with you, James. Who is best? Who is worst? And everyone
It's between Microsoft, Nintendo,
and EA and Ubisoft. Those are in there too.
You said 3.
I meant 5.
Okay. EA. I didn't actually watch that from when you told me. Wow, I do not remember what games there were.
Just do the ones you know. Just do the ones you know.
Oh, Dead Space. I guess a 3, like an average score for EA. Ubisoft, I have to give another 3 because I am not a fan of Assassin's Creed, and that seems to be their only standing point, really.
And Watch Dogs.
Nintendo.
1 being best, 5 being worst.
I have to say a 3 also because I'm a fan of New Super Mario Bros. But that new controller and the whole Weverse thing. Microsoft, I'm sure everyone agreed to like a 2. maybe
good.
a.
Wait, you said one being
Yeah,
best?
you got me all confused.
Okay, we'll just do one from one.
Usually-
We'll just do one from 1 to 5 as normal rating.
Okay, usually
Yeah.
one's worse.
I was gonna rank them from best to worst, but the this way works fine too.
So 2, it'll be a 2, 1 being worst. And
Yeah.
fuck the other part.
On a
I
scale
have
of
to
1
give.
to 5.
I have to give. I don't want to say Microsoft. I'll give the Kinect a 2, and Usher a 4. No, I'm joking.
That's your 5.
I'll give Microsoft a 2. It wouldn't get a 1 because Halo 4 is coming out. I don't like Halo. I'm not a Halo fan, but I think Master Chief is kind of a cool dude. And I was so tired of seeing
And
all these knockoffs.
to be fair,
So,
I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not a
tired
Halo
of-
fan.
so tired of, I mean, Reach was a great story though. I have to give it to that one. But like OSTD,
OST.
the real time strategy one.
yeah.
I will say that Halo has a very fascinating lore behind it,
No, definitely. Thanks to Reach and
Reach ending was really
and
good.
the
and it
books
was
too.
really good.
I've never read the books, but I've
Yeah.
heard very, very good things about them and the lore.
You know,
so
people,
Halo's
you
the
have
only one
seen
keeping it
Master
out
Chief's
for,
face,
for
right?
2.
In the books, you see Master Chief's face, right?
And
And then I'll give Sony a 4 because I'm really in love with that battle royale thing. Like I'm so excited for that shit. I really am. And God of War is looking real nice too. And Last of Us is okay. I can't give it a 5 because
Is it a Wonder Book segment?
because of the Wonder Book segment.
Yeah.
okay, Ben, your turn.
Alright. Well, I give EA maybe a 3. I would say 2.5 because a lot of things are social, and I'm not a big social guy, and they try to push that. I mean, they have good Dead Space, and that's basically it. And Medal of Honor, not Gears of Honor, but Medal of Honor Warfighter. That looks really good.
I didn't touch it.
All right, and next one is
Microsoft.
Microsoft. I give that probably like a 2 or 1. I'll give it a 1. It was terrible. All they hear is connect, and bringing back sequels.
And not
And a
sure.
prequel. They didn't bring nothing new to the table, just sequels and a prequel. And then next one is Ubisoft. I give it a 4. I mean, I really liked it. I mean, the new edition of Watch Dogs, the new game, refreshed everything for the new game community. And then
Sony.
Sony and
no,
Nintendo left.
Assassin's Creed looks really good, except for that boat scene.
Yeah.
Kind of dull and boring.
Yeah, all right.
And Nintendo, I give it a 3. I mean, it just seems so old, but so old, but you know, it's
Nintendo's
just
limping.
the characters are so cool, so you can't really diss them that much and that bad.
I wouldn't say cool more.
More-
But I do agree with you.
Yeah,
with the,
iconic, definitely.
Yeah, I do agree with you. With, that media universe could be really good. Fuck the friend code. That friend code fucks everything. It strengthens the community
It does.
of Nintendo.
You can't do
'Cause
anything.
You have a big fan base, Nintendo. You know how many DSs sold? A lot. You could have a
Yeah.
big community. And then I
You
guess
just made it easier
You
to.
can't list any.
And now your rating of Sony.
Sony 4.5. I give 4.5. I loved everything except the storybook. I loved the battle royale. I loved Last of Us. And what else was it?
I mean, we're gonna be fair.
God of
We,
War.
we are
God of War.
we are all
Now that I know the story.
Yeah, no, the
that sounds
story.
really reasonable.
That sounds
That
pretty
got
cool.
me so mixed up and so.
and
Eh.
to be fair, we are all PS3 gamers, so our opinions might be somewhat biased.
But no, it makes sense for Microsoft because Kinect. If you ask.
Oh no, I'm not defending myself by any means. I'm just pointing that out so that our audience is aware of our biases.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
Dylan, your
I'm
turn.
gonna start with Microsoft. I give Microsoft a 3 because
Bill loves to connect.
That is being
No.
generous.
Suckers.
Love
it's
Usher.
being
No,
generous.
just say
But
it.
because what was put on Microsoft was Metal Gear Rising, I'm very much looking forward to that game.
They didn't show it in the press conference though.
No, it's online.
Revenge.
The online, it's Microsoft represented or something like
Metal Gear
that.
Solid.
That's just what
Rising.
IGN said.
Revenge.
And-
Redemption.
Yeah, the new
Redemption.
That's
Revengeance.
because I get such a credible source.
Redemptions.
It's pretty credible. I think it's credible.
Redemption.
But
It's
yeah,
not, I guarantee you.
Redemptions.
Anyway,
no, but yeah, I give it a 3 just because Revengeance, like
Redemptions.
Revengeance, and EA.
Once again, Dylan's like, I do not remember what the fuck they said.
Also, I can always
Dead Space.
remember Dead Space, but EA, I give that about 3.5 because it brought in Dead Space, but not only is it look like it's bringing Medal of Honor back to like a better way, like with this new nation kind of deal.
okay, and your opinion of Ubisoft?
I give Ubisoft a 4 because Watch Dogs I mean, that's a new thing. Like, I've never seen that before and ever in a game. And Assassin's Creed is one of the only Assassin's Creeds I'm actually looking forward to.
And now, Sony.
I'm gonna have to scale with Ben here and give it like a 4.5. Like the Wonder Book, that was just a bad idea, and they shouldn't have went full force on it. But I mean, other games like Gal and like what was this, PlayStation All Stars? I mean, those are definitely gonna be like hard hitters in a box office.
Put some
box offices.
Put some water
Doesn't
on it
matter.
and wipe it up.
That's what we're doing now.
Wet the paper towels. You gotta wet them out so
Well,
it's
we've gotta.
That's
Ben
gonna be
had an
sticky.
accident. He
Hey!
peed himself.
you gotta wet the paper towels so that it doesn't get sticky.
That's what she said.
You can cut that out. Anyway, your opinion then, did you say Nintendo's opinion?
No,
on
I
it?
didn't. I give Nintendo a. I do have to give Nintendo a 3 also. Because Nintendo, yeah, with the Weavers, but like Ben said, I mean, there's not gonna get as big as like PlayStation Network and like Xbox Live because of the friend code. So it's not gonna be used as much.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you
All
could
right.
just add.
Now it's my turn. I am much less generous than Dylan was.
I just made fun of
I'm
this.
giving Microsoft a 1.
Oh God.
I didn't
Zero.
like Microsoft. I didn't like Microsoft at all. It was overemphasizing Connect and too many sequels. To be
Exactly,
blunt, to be
nothing-
perfectly blunt.
Nothing, but they either had a sequel or a prequel. That's it.
I also give EA a 1. I don't like I don't remember half the stuff that they showed.
What,
So
EA?
yeah, EA.
I don't.
Half the stuff they showed was not interesting enough for me to remember, and the other half is I don't really care about that either.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to give that a 1. Ubisoft, I'm a bit more generous. I'm gonna give them a 4 because they did show. Like, I'm gonna admit, they get a point off because they tried humor and they failed miserably.
So it's clear to
But the
say
ga-
it's not like failed humor.
But the games they showed were actually fairly interesting for the most part. And Watch Dogs is something very unique and different. And I'm glad they showed that, and I'm glad they kept a surprise.
Yeah,
For
they
E3.
didn't show any hints, but that's really good.
Moving on to Nintendo, I give Nintendo a 3 as well. Like, because I think Wii U has potential, but I don't think Nintendo knows how to use it properly. I don't think Nintendo's going to be able to properly utilize their technology to
There's
its
too
greatest
much of a
potential.
first party. There's too much of exclusive, just themselves. They don't
Yeah.
help the third party company.
I want to give Sony a 4 as well because that Wonder Book segment took way too long. Oh my God, that
So
took
I would
too
love
long.
to see 25 games.
So close
Now,
to a
Brendan,
5.
though, before you
Yeah, so
continue,
close.
you put a lot of the score rating on how long the thing was. Like, do you actually just hate how long it took, or the product
Yeah,
itself?
it took
Both.
way too long.
Both.
We had both, but the product itself.
10 minutes, we find the product was good.
No, the product is okay. It's actually okay. It's not a bad idea, but it's not worth 10 minutes of our lives to push it on us.
To be fair,
Take away 25
presentation.
games.
Yeah.
I'm
For your
rating
new
I'm rating
console.
them based on what they showed and how they showed it.
Yeah.
The conference itself.
That's true.
And if they thought that was 10 minutes, they were wrong, and they had to lose points for that.
And they could help the Vita out too.
Yeah, since they're pushing the Vita so much, that they're really fucking over other games trying to push the Vita.
Mhm.
Most likely, the fighting game community is getting fucked over by Sony because of the Vita.
Yeah. Yee.
And now that we finished that, last we can just talk about miscellaneous E3 stuff that we want to discuss.
Oh, I got one.
Vita
Metal
so
Gear
bad.
Solid. Metal Gear Rising.
2E3.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
E3. I want to talk about Call of Duty real quick, and this might surprise people because I don't really care about Call of Duty that much.
Or at all.
Yeah, but I heard some things about Blops that I'm kind of interested in. Black Ops 2, Blops.
That's a real thing,
Yeah.
actually. Like Mao.
Oh,
Wait,
God.
MW.
What I heard about Black Ops 2, if you were not going to let me use Blops,
Okay.
is that they're going to try to advocate adding choice in how the story plays out.
Seems fresh.
And to someone like me that cares about stuff like that, that's actually fairly interesting to me. Not enough to buy the game, but enough to want to play it.
Dude, they're not going to do it right, and we all know it. It's going to suck.
Well, we don't know. Maybe
But if they do it right,
Okay, they're decent with their stories.
if they do it right, I want to play it and see what it's like. If they do it wrong, I want to play it and see how they failed
Right.
and analyze that on a critical level.
Now, Treyarch is definitely better with their story than Infinity Ward is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up real quick. Next thing I want to bring up was Skyrim Dawnguard, if anyone wants to indulge me on that
Beautiful.
conversation.
It looks actually
really
pretty cool with the vampire being like the leader of vampires being
And
able
the
to
level up system.
yeah,
with
they-
the level up.
fly.
They now werewolves will be able to level up now, and I was actually super excited about that because
But
my
one thing I-
werewolf is so weak.
But like one thing I'm wondering, like, is there gonna be like a level just for that alone?
Yeah,
or
no,
just-
the curse will unlock by killing people in werewolf form.
It makes sense. It's like 15 levels, right?
I don't know.
I have some for it.
But it's
They
just
also,
there's
two
tons-
things they also announced were that you can also now craft weapons with dragon bow.
That's really good because I got
And-
a shitload of dragon bones.
That's
Nothing to do.
that's very
Slut.
good for me because they're also going to be better than Daedric weapons too. They're going to be above Daedric class.
Which is
Daedric-
the highest class.
Daedric
Yeah.
was just annoying because you had to find the parts. And
I hate Daedric. I hate the Daedric weapons. They look because I try to play the paladin and they look very evil.
They look really devilish.
Yeah, they really do. The Daedric. I've seen
See, I
pictures.
can't actually relate to anything because I've never.
Like,
I'm totally ignorant towards Skyrim.
Which is fine because we're gonna start playing our Skyrim episode as soon as it's over.
Yeah, so now we'll be playing. So
Yeah, but I have a
That'd be
miscellaneous.
And the last thing they added was crossbows.
look, that's pretty good.
And I'm actually a fan of
I thought
crossbows.
that shit was
So.
already in there.
They
Yeah.
have bows, not crossbows.
And the story seems
Oh, you
pretty
mean
cool.
like the?
Yeah.
That one, like,
The only type of crossbow there is.
And the
Bill.
story
No,
seems pretty
crossbow,
cool. Brandon,
and then the
right?
bow.
Bow and arrow.
Yeah,
Bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Crossbow.
The story seems pretty good.
yes.
To the side.
I'm actually kind of interested to see how the vampire lord thing plays out.
Yeah, me too.
They'll
That's
just-
why
I
I'm
want to.
surprised.
I actually. I want to make another character. I want to make a vampire character so I can be a vampire lord to see how that plays out.
They
Yeah.
something with the Elder
He
Scrolls.
I'm
looks
al-
just
So-
like a
I'm-
vampire from Underworld 2.
I'm already rethinking my entire character in another playthrough.
No, he wasn't Underworld. It was Underworld 2.
Alright, I got miscellaneous. The new Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
That was coming out.
Was that even announced during? Does they even do anything
It
about
was
that?
internet.
Times.
It was internet announced.
Yeah.
I mean, half the stuff on E3 was internet announced. It's confusing to me.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
You know what?
there's
I-
a lot of shit that was internet announced. Only thing I can relate to is the fighting games that were not even shown on TV. Being the Street Fighter X Tekken for the Vita. And one, Capcom, like before, had us all excited. They said, major announcements for the E3. Oh, shit!
yeah.
And we're like, fuck yeah, finally, something new for us. And it turns out, it was just Street Fighter X Tekken for the Vita, which we've known about
Forever.
since, last E3 when they announced it.
Yeah.
So we were all like, okay. Oh wait, they announced cross-platform play. That was the major announcement.
Yeah.
And also that was coming out for the Apple iOS.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
And I think we all
my charge.
Alright, good.
we all known
Alright.
we all know that it was gonna be cross platform.
Yeah, we all knew it. They announced that before. We knew
Last
all
year.
of this. All of this we knew. We knew the characters. We knew the story. We knew everything. They didn't announce anything new, but they still called a major announcement and trolled us again. Fuckers.
Not doing good, Capcom.
So do you want to say
Bad
anything
Capcom.
about E3, Ben, in general? Because I have two more things I want to say, and then.
I mean, I think E3 was an average. I mean, there's a lot of new things, but there was a lot of things that brought it down majorly. Overall, I think it's good. I mean, I'm wishing some of the games will come out this year, but
So what are
One thing I
Maybe
noticed
bangers.
during E3, and maybe this was just me, but there was a god awful amount of bows in this convention.
Yeah.
arrows. Yeah.
Tomb Raider had a bow.
Oh, yeah.
Skyrim.
Crisis had a bow. Far Cry had a
And
bow.
Assassin's Creed
Skyrim.
have a bow?
Dawnguard had a bow.
That's because
Assassin's Creed had a
that's
bow.
because bows and arrows
Are
are.
in right now.
I mean, it's an obvious hunter motif. I know
Yeah.
what they're
It's
doing.
actually in
Yeah.
from Hunger Games. That's why it's in right now.
Damn, you're right. I hate that you're right.
But I mean, like,
It makes sense. I mean, it's not bad.
I just wanted to
It's not
comment
bad,
on
but
the
it's also
obvious
not
bow
fucking-
fetish going on in this E3.
Both fetishes are dumb. I mean, Lara Croft is
And-
hot still, but
Speaking of
She's okay. Not
and
as hot as
speaking
you
of
thought she was.
Far Cry, does anyone else think that's more than generic shooter?
Well,
No,
I actually
it's-
saw more gameplay.
no, it's definitely just a third-person shooter. I
No.
mean, first-person
First
shooter.
person.
I actually saw more
Yeah.
single player.
I know
It was
it's
just co-op.
I know it's open world and all that, but it's still.
They said
I
the
mean, how far
co-op.
can you go with the open world FPS?
They said the co-op is in, but the single player
really?
was really.
Oh, I'm gonna fight a
I hope so.
tiger.
I
I will say that the gameplay
It
they
looks-
showed was pretty.
It looks just like a first-person shooter.
I will say that the scenes they show with the crazy guy and the main character all that. That was actually fairly interesting.
Yeah, I actually saw the story.
Not enough for me to want to buy the game.
It still looks like a first
But
person
interesting.
shooter. Hey, Dylan, why are you shoving your shirt underneath your fat?
He's 6 years old. Let him do what he wants.
Sure.
Doesn't matter.
So if no one else has anything else to say, I think that wraps up our first ever zombie cast.
Alright, that's a long ass zombie cast too.
Cut, trim, yeah, baby.
Why trim it? We can just have this whole thing in.
No, I'm not trimming it. I'm not gonna listen to this whole thing.
I want even this part put into this now.
Oh, okay.
Snap.
Alright.
As a sort of meta troll on the audience.
Alright.
This is long as shit. I'm even gonna put right next to it, kinda long. Here, zombie cast, E3.
No, you should put in the
Parentheses,
description
kinda
like kind of long. Maybe get like some chips and a drink.
Or something
No,
else.
no.
Some
Or
chips
do-
drinking
or
a
do it-
blowjob.
Well, it's a podcast. You're supposed to just... I don't know about you, but I play podcasts in the background when I'm doing something else.
Me too. I do the same thing.
Like right now, I've taken
Yeah,
to
I
playing
guess you're
I play Fallout 2 while I'm listening to podcasts on my computer.
The only podcast I watch is Maximilian one.
I watch Rooster
Online
Teeth
lawyer.
podcast. Which
So,
I don't even
yeah.
know why I watch Rooster Teeth. I mean, it's achievement.
Okay,
So, without further ado, I am Brandon Carey,
I'm James Hughes.
I'm Benjamin Figueroa.
And I'm Jake the dog.
and they're all gay. Have a nice day, everybody.